schedule. Yeah, so I have to go through all, and, and now it is set officially. Everything is set. So I'm here, and let me say thanks to every one of you for joining us. Welcome to your number one nighttime program. Yeah, in Liberia it's night already, so I always say welcome to your nighttime program. This is your number one nighttime platform. The closing argument. Sometimes when the argument get tough, when it gets serious, we then the argument soon goes to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. People say, "Wow, you guys can sleep." We say, but the argument, it tend to be an argument now. It get too serious now. So we have to extend the time to the the next yeah, the next morning. But welcome. Good to be here. So as I said, I was just trying to make sure that I have everything planned for my end, setting up my school time, and yeah, getting everything set up. So I was just unfortunate to be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let me say thanks to Myean, thanks to Hammond, the rest of the guys who've been running it for you. So I'm here the weekend. I'm going to be here again for good because everything is set up now. Welcome to the show. Today's Monday. So many things training. Is this thing about the yellow machine been there training on the internet? Oh my God, yellow machine issue again. It bounced back. It's training on the internet. And I said today will come. We will talk about it. Oh yeah, we will throw light on this yellow machine issue. Uh, Liberian people, for me, we always we pray for the best, and for me, we pray for the best. It's the best thing we pray for. Nobody pray for bad thing. Nobody pray against development. We pray for the best thing, but sometimes we question our people to ask them whether is this something they make it sound like it's the first time this is something we're going to go change the life of people. It's your responsibility as a government. I don't know whether they see it as their responsibility, but it's their responsibility. Who's will be yellow machine in the country that you? So it shouldn't be something where we should go run away. It should be the no. They present in a competition. It is presented a competition like send other people here the last the past government. We are into a competition. No, it's not competition. It's a responsibility to be yellow machine. Who is responsible to do it? So people going flying with it and thing, don't do it like a competition. You don't run a competition where you are here to satisfy or you are here to prove to certain people. No. Right now there is no political party. You are here to serve the Liberian people. So know that it's your responsibility. It rests on your shoulder to do it. But let me say welcome to my big brother. Big brother, give me welcome. Welcome to the show. Good to have you on. Let me see what I can get you on. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I can see you. I'm on.
yeah. You are on. Welcome, welcome, big brother. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for what you guys do. I know it's late in your town, but this is the weekend. Today is Friday. We said, thank God
Mm-hmm.
it is Friday. So you don't have to worry about class tomorrow. You don't have to worry about anything. So relax,
Yes.
lay back, and enjoy the show. It's going to be a little rough, like you said. That's why they call it the closing argument, right?
Yeah. The closing argument.
After you have talked all you need to talk, it's like any story. You have to end the story, and how you end the story usually carries the weight. So
Mm-hmm.
you debate and you get talk. When they say closing, and then you don't know how to close your case. Even you are a lawyer, you will lose the case.
Mm-hmm.
So they call it summation. It's time for you to submit. That means all your talk, everything, all your thought, all your argument, put them into one lump sum and take 5 minutes and do a summary and close it, tie all loose ends.
Yes.
And that's what the closing argument is all about, especially on a Friday like today. We will touch on almost everything. We'll do like a week in review. The entire week from Monday to Friday, we're gonna be closing, we're gonna tighten all the loose ends, close all the loopholes, and then we'll make the final argument at the end of the day. If you can see what's going on in Liberia, You have the electricity problem at the airport is a major one, and this government is very good at changing the topic. Now the whole nation is upset about the possible accident that could have happened at our international airport with all of our partners and families and friends on an aircraft that landed with no electricity is dangerous. And to change that topic, they're going back to the well to draw the seawater they have always drawn, the yellow machine. How many times we have not talked about it, one yellow machine, 1,000 times? Every time they're in a jam, their back is against the wall, they will bring about the yellow machine. The yellow machine went from $79 million. Now they're saying it's $22 million now. So you tell me, how do you go from $79 million to $22 million and nobody is being persecuted for attempted theft? If Martin Cully and those other guys have not caught on to this, Liberia will have been indebted to someone for $79 million. This is how terrible it is, Ansu.
Very, very terrible. So, like what you are saying, big brother. So, we try to. For me, I always tell the people, I said this thing here, government should see it as their responsibility. Yeah, it shouldn't be something in which it should look like a competition. Yeah, like you and someone running competition here. You are in charge. It's a full responsibility. It was part of your campaign promises you made to Liberian people. So you have to live up to it. When you fail, the people will come back at you. They will definitely wish you. And they will put you on track that in your campaign message or what during the campaign time you said you are doing this, you're going to do this, and what we cannot see. So we're doing some of the things. Yeah, we shouldn't look like it is. We are in competition with with other people where people not did it before, so we have to do it up or not do it. No, 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 no. See it as your responsibility. It knows that you were elected by Liberian people to do it as part of your campaign promise or promises you made to your people. But is that what going to change the life of the people? People ask many questions. Sometimes look at your economy and what's happening, what's going on, and how well the government handles the economy in terms of job creation, the cost of living policy that directly reduce inflation, and a national budget that will prioritize what the layman cares about the most. Is that what you are looking at? A good governance. Those are things. A government that takes it starts things by in terms of demonstrating zero tolerance on corruption. Those are the things. In addition, having a regular maybe this government, the president always have regular cabinet meeting, always meeting his ministers and things. What are they discussing? Are they meeting the media? Are they media friendly? Those are things there. What the public talking about us? What exactly the people talking? Are we achieving? Are they talking that we are achieving some of the promises we made? Those are some of the things the people don't want to put there. But it's not. It happened. Big brother. Somewhere at the ELW junction there, the AB Tomalin Road going as far as the Boulevard Junction. When the government just took over, they talked about this overhead bridge, and it went on by breaking houses, breaking stores, and shop. Everything that was to that area, they broke everything down. And today that place I think to a big dead sign. Big day that area that you go there and see the garage, people throwing die in the entire area. So it's the same thing we're talking about, whether you are prepared or just about saying it. That's another thing. But implementing, we are into the second year, heading to the third year. We know that's going to happen maybe overnight to get or help bridge to that place. But the way how you came in the picture, that is going to happen now. It gives Liberian people that expectation that you can make it happen. People know that it's process, but the way how you're presenting, how the people will reach out to you.
Well, the old folks in the interior say, as you make your bed, so shall ye lie in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are coming and you're telling the folks, my first 100 day,
Yeah.
there will be no car stuck on the road. And I'm going to do this, and the expectation is there. And I think we've been playing the clip when the president said, under this administration, when he was referring to the Weir administration of CDC, that children
Mm-hmm.
were selling in the streets and these children belong in school. And when he get elected, these kids will not be in the streets. The commodity prices are going to be reduced because he knows how to do them. He's been in power for so long. When you make all these promises and then you get elected, then you say that people they should lower their expectations. They should give you time. This is what young people who had no experience in politics would do. But for experienced folks, this is not what they do. And President Joseph Boyka have never had a news conference to meet the media personnel like you guys and say, you know what, we have an hour. You can ask me any question.
Mm-hmm.
It has not happened. President Weir didn't do that either. President Weir will speak to the public through the media, maybe when he's coming from out of town. You're catching him at the airport, then he will address some of those issues. But like they do in the West, in these countries where the president will sit and bring all the media folks in, and you got an hour to ask questions. Ask any question you want to ask. Ask the president directly. It has not happened. It didn't happen under George Weir. And we thought Joseph Boyka would have done that because that's what he says he was going to do. And now we are going to a year and a half. Actually, this coming October, November, when the election was held, that will be 2 years. It's right around the corner. So they have to do a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
This blaming and distraction. We are too smart. Answer, you're too smart for someone like you to be talking about major incident that could have put our country, into complete darkness. We talk about plane with 200 folks on it. We are talking about it, then you bring about a yellow machine that had no head, no tail. That is what distraction. They're trying for us to forget about what happened at the airport. In fact, as we are speaking, Julius just reported about 2 hours ago that the airport went dark again.
Yeah.
Julius
between 7 p.m. Liberia time, 7 p.m. 8 o'clock Liberia time to 9 o'clock, that place went dark. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Good to see you, Mr. Gibman. Good to see you, Ansu. Thanks for holding on. We running behind time, so I see the senator already seated. So we got to get started. It's a privilege to have tonight the senator of Rivergee County, the Honorable Francis Saidy Dopoh the second. He's the chairman. Let me call all the other men title though.
Yeah, you don't want to be held in contempt.
Yeah, yes. He's the chairman of the Senate Committee on Post and Telecommunication. He's the vice chairman of the Senate Committee on Gender, Children Welfare, and Social Protection. The vice chairman of the Senate Committee on Youth and Sports. Ranking member Ways, Means, Finance, and Budget. Ranking member Public Accounts, Expenditure, and Audit. Member Autonomous Agencies and Commission. Member Public Corporations, member the Maritime, member Information Culture and Tourism, ranking member Public Works, ranking member Modernization and Reform, was the head of the Liberian delegation to the International Parliamentary Union. Mr. Senator Dopoh holds an MBA in Finance and Banking. Also have a Master's of Arts in Policy and Economics from the William College in the USA. And he also a candidate of the Harvard School of Government. Harvard Executive Education in Comparative Taxation. That's the man we have today as our special guest. President, he's visiting the USA, and it's good to have Senator Dopoh of Rivergee County. And Honorable Dopoh, I want to welcome you to the closing argument. And other guys will join us, but Mr. Jerome Kim and I, we will start the show with you. Welcome, Mr. Senator Dopoh. Welcome.
Well, let me say a big thank you to you, Mr. George, Mr. Kim, and the rest of you. I'm honored to be on your show. I hope my voice coming up.
Yes, clear.
Okay, I'm honored to be on your show. This is my first time be on your show. I want to say I appreciate the time and the invite. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a privilege. We are honored to have you on our show. Like I was telling somebody, I said he's a senator who do his job quietly. He's not. I'm not hearing all of this stuff we hear all the time. And it must be good to have you. And good to have you. It's a privilege to have you, Mr. Gaiman. You want to give your opening before we start with the senator?
Yes, Senator, it's actually an honor. We were just talking about you guys the other day. Those of us that grew up during the progressive time, they beat us. They beat us up all the time. They say we are bad people. We spoil the country and all that other stuff. But to find young folks like you who are coming up and doing the right thing and doing as much as you can, you stand on the shoulders of great men and women like Honorable Chair Chipo. We're talking about Deacon Carlo, Marcus Matthew. We're talking about Amos Sawyer. We're talking about Tipote. I mean, you talk about Alberport. I mean, you go all the way back on some great men and women shoulders to see a young man like you doing what you do. And I'm glad that I noticed the difference in the name because I know there was a Moses Dopoh from Nima, and I'm glad that this is a Dopoh. So yeah, Dopoh. You see, so is that Gribble or Samuel?
Gribble.
Okay, Gribble. Okay, so now I gotta brush up on my Gribble. I'm usually aligned, you know, I'm a bison man, so I'm usually aligned with the Bush Gribble. So we are Bush Gribble family folks. So, but nice to see you, man. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. I'm honored. Yeah. Thank you. Just one thing quick.
Go ahead.
We didn't update the website for that information. I'm no longer vice chairing the youth and sport because Honorable Twine is now vice chairing. So I was vice chair until he came in. So that's the only thing I want to correct there. I think we sleep on that. I'm a member of the committee on youth and sport now. I used to be the vice chair.
Thank you. Okay, Senator Dopoh, let me just ask you, man. First of all, how are you doing, and how's the family? How's everything with you at your end?
Fine. We're doing well. I came in purposely first to be a part of the CSW 69. That's the consortium on the status of women as the vice chair on gender. Unfortunately for me, I came late because Rivergee was celebrating its 25th Silver Jubilee, 25th anniversary. So I had to be there because we have invited our citizens in the US. So I had to be there. So I came late for the CSW. However, my trip was also mixed with meeting with the governor of the state of Delaware and the lieutenant governor and Senator Marie Pinckney, who is also a state senator. These are people that I've interacted with. So I came in to see how best we can put before them the interest of our country and county. So far, so good. And using the time also to see my sisters. I have two sisters here, Sarah and Massa.
You know Sarah, right?
I'm texting her now to come on.
I'm picking up for Sarah's home. Yeah. Yeah. So let me just, I know you'll be asking some questions because sometimes I like to just lay out a couple of things, then we can move forward. It's good for the audience to know, especially when my first time on your platform. that I do have both political and professional backgrounds. So I am a former chair of the National Youth and Student Joint Technical Committee on the scrupulous implementation of the Accra Peace Agreement. That was in 2003. And then also served as the student president of the African Melody Episcopal University, being in the youth advocacy for a period of time, especially in the Bushra Island Belt. I work at the Ministry of Finance, deal from the private sector, work with the Ministry of Finance as principal director for property tax, and also deputy commissioner for tax policy, and became the deputy controller and acting controller at the National Port Authority, and then the assistant commissioner for large taxpayer office at the Revenue Authority before becoming representative for Rivergee County, and 6 years after, I'm now senator of Rivergee County. I thought I'd just bring that as a profile to add up.
Very good. Oh, that's very good. That's good. That's very good. Very good. Very good. Good to hear that. But let's get started. I know you have limited time with us because you have another schedule to go to. So we'll take advantage of the time short time we have with you. So tell us, what is the state of Rivergee at this moment? Rivergee, people have said that Rivergee is basically, they have cut off from Liberia. They are one of the most poorest remotely counties in the country. You say all countries of Rivergee, and not much is heard about Rivergee. So perhaps you are the senator from there. You can give us an update about the state of affairs in Rivergee.
So I will agree in part. In fact, that's where I draw my strength and my commitment to serve. Yes, the Rivergee is deprived. I wouldn't say most isolated. At some point in time in the last few years, it was challenged. Just even last year, again, it got challenged in terms of accessibility. However, progress has been made gradually, especially when it comes to the road leading from Nimba to Banjida to Rivergee County. And we're hoping that indeed the progress that has been seen so far can be, sustained. However, we agree that indeed we are challenged. Rivergee being one of the two youngest counties in Liberia, to Bapolu. Rivergee came before Bapolu, but almost in the same year. So being 25 years old, especially where we are the Bush Grable, actually, we have 17 different sections of Rivergee County. I account for one called Tomalin, close to Webo, in the Webo district area. So we see ourselves being people in the bush, and we are happy, and we also will say we're grateful to the legislature at the time and our forefathers who decided to ensure that we got the status as a county, because it has shed some light. Some of the concerns people are raising that us being deprived, and some of the reasons why we were deprived, because I think leadership was centered in Myean and in Rivergee, so it was not going forward to Webo and that of Wapo. So yes, indeed. But however, progress has been made. Rivergee, in terms of internal movement between Rivergee and Myean County, that is good, but that's a paved road. We have access to electricity in some part of Rivergee County leading from Myean County. We also try to open up our city. Yes, indeed, but sometimes because of the bar roads, that's why we are emphasizing on the issue of road, because our people in Rivergee County are strong people, but unfortunately for them, once we don't have good access road, obviously we get high, hiking prices and other things. Rivergee is is at risk to illicit mining. That's one of the dangers of Rivergee County. But by and large, when it comes to the people from Rivergee County and the people that live in Rivergee County, I think they have progressive mindset. All we need to do, that's some of the reasons why we are pushing fully for decentralization. We believe that our people can do it themselves once they are given the opportunity. So far so good. Yes, Rivergee is deprived, but we are not like we were when we were first established. Yeah, we are not that way.
Okay, before I bring Mr. Gimmer in, let me just put this another thing about Rivergee. So Rivergee, what's the leading hospital in Rivergee? And also, what's the county budget, the budget for the county? Because the last time I heard, I was watching the Senate proceeding, and one of the senators was saying that they up to now, the government have not yet given Rivergee health sector the budgetary the money you guys appropriated for them. They are not receiving for the health centers, and it was affecting them. So what is the state of that?
So Rivergee County has the Fishtown Referral Hospital. That's in Fishtown. We have other health centers, one in Dopoh, one in Saidy, and other little clinics around, the 10 administrative districts. Yes, indeed, the issue about the budget performance is not unique, to the last 2 years. It's something that has been coming for the last 8 to 9 years in Liberia, not just only Rivergee County. So I can be just selfish to say that we have been following the budget performance, and the budget has been highly underperforming when it comes to funding that goes to these referral hospitals, these health systems of our various counties. Over time, we have pushed for what we call fiscal deficiency or efficiency statement from the Ministry of Finance. But at the time, when we entered the legislature in the House of Representatives, working on the budget committee or serving on the budget committee, our fiscal period was not in the calendar year period. So there have been a lot of excuses where you have fiscal, let's say, budget fiscal altering that are not exact, that are not actual. So to be able to assess, and really perform the level of oversight of the Ministry of Finance was very difficult and full of excuses, because the argument would be, oh, we're in the next field, the fiscal period, before you realize another budget comes before you, and you are not had the time to actually know exactly what is the actual performance in terms of the consolidated, statement of the government. So we're able to move our budget process now to a calendar year. However, the PFA law provides for additional 90 days from when the budget lapses, 90-day commitment period. So if you really look at the current budget, if you look at the fiscal outturn there, it has about, let's say, 60% of the performance that have been shown there, but actually they are not actual performance, because they are not ended 90 days. The 90 days have just ended in this going March. So now to perform that level of oversight, you have to start in April and May. You see that by the time the whole 2024 have already gone. So we get deprived from those things, because when we want to go to the inside of what's happening there, you will see that money, yes, we are on the committee. I'm on the budget committee, and I'm a ranking member in the sense that I served the budget committee in the House of Representatives for 6 years. And then we one of those that champion the budget law in terms of different aspects of the budget law. So obviously we make appropriation. One of the things we don't have county budget. Okay, what you see in the budget process, until we can effect, the decentralization, we don't have county budget. What we see the agent chunks amount like county development fund government gave towards the a county. You go in some ministry and agency budget, there are few amount there for operation and so forth. No, we have now fully transitioned to decentralization, and that's one of the things that we are pushing for. That is the reason why we supported the revenue sharing bill that was signed by President Weah. Okay, we were the champion of that revenue sharing bill, which is now the law. So we hope that the current government will implement that fully, because when we implement that, then I can speak to you and tell you, hey, Mr. George, this is Rivergee budget. But as it is now, no county has a budget. No county has a budget. What the counties have is something that the government decides to allocate towards the county. Because you should have a budget as a county under decentralization, then you know exactly what the source of funding for the budget and what you want to do. So there's a need for bridging the gap. Then it's easier to do. Yeah, but as it is now, no, we don't have. We got funding that go towards that we appropriate towards the county, but honestly, they are not sufficient to determine the actual fiscal position of Rivergee County.
Okay, let me just welcome Dr. Peabody and Sylvester Pewee. They are two of the panelists here. We go to Mr.
I'm laughing, Sylvester Pewee.
Mr. Gimman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my summary.
Mr. Pewee,
Yeah.
this man, the senator said he's from Rivergee and he's a Bush Gribble. So me, you, and he got something in common. We are Bush people, according to the ambassador. But just a joke.
Yeah, no, but we got a lot of things in common. We graduated from the same high school, Monrovia College, and the rest of that. So we got a lot of things in common, actually.
Yeah.
Sylvester, you graduated from Maria College?
Yes, this man, we graduated.
Yeah, we went
Oh,
over
you
college.
kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maria College too.
Oh, okay. So all of you got a beating from Mrs. York. It's all right.
Yeah,
No, we were very old people.
Rivergee
Yeah.
from
Reverend Dr. Holt. Yeah. I know Dr. Holt. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the point.
Okay,
All right,
guys. We'll talk after the show. Senator, can you talk to us briefly about how many schools, how many high schools do you have, how many middle schools, how many elementary schools you have, and how accessible are these schools to the children?
Okay, so I will speak from the data from the 2022 educational census conducted by Ministry of Education, and that data provides that indeed Rivergee has about 136 schools. Of that amount, public schools are 84 public schools. Okay, I mean 111. Sorry, I'm not be too excited, but it's not. It hasn't reached even 115 because there are 11 faith-based schools and 7 private schools, and then 84 public schools. So we add a number of will be around 100, a little over 100. So I may not be able to give you the stats for the number of junior high, but for the senior high, I know to note, we have currently in Rivergee about 6, senior high schools, and that's 6 government-owned senior high schools. There are 3 government-owned senior high schools. So each of the political districts, okay, has one. One is Webo, one is in Fishtown, is Twajikli, and then the Wipo Multilateral that is in district number 1. We have about from that same census report on the Ministry of Education, we have about 22,000 students, of which 19,000 are public school students on that census. Yeah, so we're talking about 10,000 plus are in the primary school area, okay, and then about a little under 1,000 in the senior high, and the rest are junior and ECE, early child education program. I mean, just a little bit of start because I took interest in the start because I'm concerned about education.
Great.
So
my second question here is, you are in the States. Obviously, you would be your interest. One of your main interests would be investors to come to Rivergee. What is it that you invited me, Mr. Pewee, Tomalin, Peabody, everybody? What is it why do you want us to come and invest in Rivergee? What is it that Rivergee has to offer?
So our focus for Rivergee is agriculture. Rivergee offer a lot when it comes to the level of canopy, low farmland, high farmland in Rivergee County, high land and low land. Okay, so the basis for farming. So Rivergee have the land space. Okay, the numbers in Rivergee County is very small. I mean, the census put it at 129,000 plus, actually, but the land space is big. So if you move to Guar, you move to the 10th administrative district, Rivergee is endowed with a land space for agriculture. Yes, indeed, we have we have other streams and other things for tourism. But honestly, I think the most important thing that I focus on, for which even my conversation with partners around, is to see how we can leverage on the opportunity you offer for agriculture. Obviously, that's what I want you to do. I want you to invest in Rivergee County in mechanized farming, and you will get the result. Yeah, you will get a result. And the reason why you want to invest, you're going to have a kind of, I would say, a kind of triple or more benefit from Rivergee County. One, you will be investing in a county that belongs to everyone. Rivergee County has 30% of the citizens from there that are not from, they are not originally from Rivergee County. Anybody can make a name in Rivergee County. Anybody can live in Rivergee County. That's one. The second one is that you're going to help put the issue of the Zocos. Let me tell you something. You want to help the Zoco in Monrovia and other area that give you heart in West Point and other area, bring them to Rivergee County. You make the farm, they will stay there on the farm and they will live there and work there. And then you'll be able to reduce the level of crime and also you'll be able to depopulate most of Rado that is overcrowded. So that's another opportunity that you'll be doing for the country and for yourself too, by making sure that you're bringing young people out who should not be going around begging, but to be on the plantation working for you. And then beyond that point, Rivergee is challenged like Grand Crew when it comes to the risks to illicit mining. So we have to take people's minds from that end of the illicit mining. Okay? So when you have agriculture going on, obviously you will move them from the mining field. The abuses and things that go on the mining field, the drugs and things, you will distract them from there and they can be able to earn something. And the greater one you're going to be doing for yourself is that, the AI all over the world, we hear in the US, we are hearing all in Congress, or the discussion that people going to use AI as a way of trying to reduce all that other things and take people from job. But AI cannot take a farmer from job easily. I don't see it coming easily because I don't know how will you bring robots to come and work in Rivergee County. I know you use human beings. So for us to be able to enhance and increase our level of employment, okay, especially when we got our low skilled people in our country, we got to take them to that level of laborers, okay, to make them laborers. So to make them laborers, we got to use agriculture. Yeah, so there are a lot of advantages, that agriculture can offer. That's why we're trying to leverage part of our discussion here to see how we can leverage on the expertise of Delaware when it comes to agriculture for Rivergee County and Liberia.
Mr. Chairman, there you go.
Yeah, Reverend Peabody.
All right, Senator. Let me see. I'm kind of getting the name wrong. Senator Francis. I didn't put my other glasses. Senator Francis Dopoh. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to the Closing Acumen. And my fellow monkeys just found out that you went to Monrovia College. I went that.
Yeah, you were always foremost.
Yes. So good to see you, Sylvester, as well. I see why Sylvester myself would connect a lot. I see why. We connect a lot. But Senator, it's good to have you and welcome to the Closing Acumen. Rivergee, I just listened to you. You said something very appalling here that they should take all the Zogos and every one of them and carry them to Rivergee County. Are you trying to use your county as a dumping ground for criminals?
No, I'm using my county as a functional machine that you can process people into good people for society. That's what I'm using it for. I believe that we have that capacity, and when you focus on that, you can be able. Because the first thing is that when you take these people to the rehabilitation center, okay, one, they are not economically empowered. They get stressed and go back to the same thing. That will be doing it over and again. Money plays a major role. Sustainability plays a role. You can take a man to a rehab. If he has nothing for which he was on the street, after the rehab, he's going back to it. So Rivergee, I'm presenting Rivergee County as that function, that FX machine, that function where you put the X in and you come with the FX out, so obviously it's not a dumping ground, but a process area that we can bring, bad boys into good men.
Thank you for clarifying that, because other will hear it and they will run with it and stuff like that. So thank you. That they could use it to transform them into becoming better citizens. That's great. Thank you for correcting. But let me ask you, Senator, what is the major source of employment in Bapu? I see you got rights. Rivergee. Sorry. Rivergee. I see. You got rights. As of 2007, the rice plantation was 7,190, 17 acres. So what have you guys done to transform cassava, cocoa, all of these things to really bring relief to the people in terms of employment, and stuff like that? What have you guys done?
So, first of all, I am a cocoa farmer in Rivergee County. I've just begun 10 hectares of rice farming. I'm doing a test case using the traditional method, and then by next year, I will be using the mechanized method. I want to see the result because I believe that if I put in 1,500 US dollar in a hectare, I will be able to yield about 240 bags of 25 kg in the rice. So I want to see how does that play out for a 10 hectare. Then I can do a mechanized process. I have a cocoa farm, about 20 hectare cocoa farm. So I understand exactly what is it. And what did I do? I'm not in Rivergee County all the time. I'm serving in Moserado, in Monrovia, in terms of where the capital is. But I think it's a way to provide opportunity for young people and people to get money, also to do some things and help go to school. So cocoa, there are a lot of cocoa cooperatives in Rivergee County. Currently, they are challenged with fertilizers and other things, insecticide things. If I part of my mission here, like I say, I'm focusing on agriculture. So my engagement here has to do with that. So we have those cooperatives going on. I was able to sponsor one of them, heard about some young people who graduated from TU. For the matter of information, I sponsor about 30 young people who have bachelor degree now in agriculture from Rivergee County, 40 young people who have graduated with bachelor degree in education, and 36 young people who have graduated with degree in nursing from Rivergee County over the last 4 years. The records are there from Torgbean University. So now we have a technical college, okay? The technical institute is there. I'm sponsoring 200 young people there currently to learn carpentry, because one of the major things of Rivergee County is that if you want to do it, construction there, do other things, you won't have the workforce. So I'm trying to bring Rivergee County to a level where we have the workforce you want. Because when we are breaking company, when we are engaging people, okay, they will be asking, "Oh, do you have the workforce?" You don't want to push a company and say you must employ my people when they're not qualified. So that's why we focus on a matter of information. I am the sponsor of the app that created the Rivergee Technical and Vocational Training Institute. Okay, when I was signed by President Weah in 2021. I'm the sponsor of that act. And I've been working with the budget committee, making sure that we have the OP is now open with appropriation in the budget. So we're trying to build our human capacity. That is a soft infrastructure. Okay, so many of the time when people say, "Where's the infrastructure in Rivergee County?" They don't look at the soft infrastructure. They got hard and soft infrastructure. So those are the soft infrastructure that we are focusing on. So yeah, cocoa, yes. Right, the issue of cassava. The county has what we call a sugar gari mill. Okay, the county has a rice mill. It has a sugar gari mill. Unfortunately for us, the capacity of that mill, okay, we have not domesticated a support to that capacity. In terms of you build something that worth $1.5 million, okay, that could produce maybe up to maybe let's say 50 tons per annual, but the capacity of the people, okay, to grow, because the people are using shifting cultivation. So the rice mill that is being built in Jakaken, Rivergee County, okay, the shifting cultivation method in Rivergee cannot feed that. So what we're trying to do as part of our engagement is to see how we can get support, for mechanized farming to support that rice mill. The same too with the sugar gari factory that is there, very efficient there. Okay, it's operational, but at low capacity. So, like I said to you, I've been sponsoring some young people. One of them just was part of the got a grant from the US from the US Embassy before, and UNDP also. We sponsored them for the last 4 years. Now they have a whole cassava plate in Tobo, Peabody. Okay, the guy is Nathaniel Oto. He got a bachelor degree in agriculture. It was a team of other young people who got degree in agriculture. So they have a very big cassava farm there. But again, the capacity is still low. So yes, we think we are not people who eat cassava in Rivergee County, but the people from Nima can eat cassava. The people from Grand Pastor can eat a lot of cassava. Okay, so we believe that if we give me, I got to tell you the potential of Rivergee County. So I understand the question, because as we get on this platform, it's also for us to respond to the question and also learn from it too, how we can improve it. Yeah. So what we're saying is that the opportunity is there. So we're happy that the government launched the agriculture policy. They gave me a whole document and look at the costing, everything. For me, I'm a financial person. Look at the costing. I'm also giving a counter proposal to that platform. to that policy in terms of rice farming. Okay, I have mine, which I'm going to release when we get back to section, because it's going to be very drastic. My approach to rice it's going to be very drastic, to be frank. But honestly, it's not going to be like any other president. But I mean, it's my proposal that if you say you are serious to produce rice, I mean, 10 million bags of rice we consume, okay, which is about 230,000 metric tons of rice that we consume per annum in Liberia, 25 kg bag. Okay, when you invest $50 million in the next 3 to 4 years, you will not import the kind of rice you want to import anymore in Liberia, because it has huge investment from the beginning, but then it gotta yield every year. So we believe that Rivergee can be able to diversify. We don't have to just plan what we eat. So yeah, we have those things there, but they're not at full capacity, I must admit. And that's why we are struggling. And we cannot belabor that. I cannot come on this platform and be praising my county in a way that it needs assistance.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I'll come back on my next question. My time is up.
Pewee.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Comrade, Honorable Senator. It was back in the days, I can recall, stay in high school when this thing about Rivergee came up, the late Senator Williams, and there was push for Rivergee to gain a county status from Grand Julius County. And you were very perfectly correct by saying Rivergee is a home. Rivergee is like a migrant home where people migrate from all walks of life. And the classic example, the former chief protocol of the executive marshal, Bodo, had a base there, and she did a lot of good things there, doing business there and all of things. And my brother also told me that. But then let me take you back a little bit because it's important, and a lot of people are not gravitating towards that end. But one of the major concerns, like my own brother that toured the place before said to me, is the issue about security. And the issue about education, and you struck it correct by saying most of the folks from Rivergee will have to move at the Tomalin University and the rest of that. And thank you for supporting most of them. What plan is it from the perspective of the leadership, particularly from the legislative arm, to push the central government to really increase security in that sector? Because the information is that part of Rivergee, sometimes you're going to have one police officer in part of the region. Even the logistics for the security is very poor in terms of, if you intend to do investment where you encourage people to come and do mechanized, involved in a high-scale mechanization process, there's a need to increase security. And we understand also that this process about most of those Burkina Faso migrants are trooping in and doing some illicit money and rest of that. What is your own plan vis-a-vis if it relates to security? Because that's one of the major things. I'm thinking about working with my brother to do something in Rivergee, but his concern is the issue about security. So what are some plans that you working with, along with the central government that got the enforceability aspect to talk about the issue of security?
So let me say it's a very good point, and I think Liberia as a country is actually challenged when it comes to the number of personnel. Even though in recent time we see that there have been recruitment with the immigration and then also with the police. Rivergee, like Bapulu and Grand Crew, we are sometimes victimized. We put in the argument for the country, but then we get the peanuts because we are not the cash cow counties. We're not the cash cow county. So whenever we make the case, I'm a ranking member of the budget committee. I played a military. I'm chair in command of the budget committee, to put it that way. And we make the case for the country, and then at the end of the day, it gets into the pot. And then the leadership of this institution, they focus on the regions that have the population, because every government in power wants to win again. Okay, and yes, indeed, I am a politician, but professionally, I don't see it that way. I see it as the way for us to look at the country. That's why we are focusing on the decentralization, because if we enforce the decentralization, I give you an example of Sylvester. Currently in Rivergee County, yes, we got security challenges, but when you go to every district in Rivergee County, they have community watch forum. Okay. The guys are vigilant, though they don't have the logistics. They are vigilant. So imagine if we're giving them the support. I mean, not necessarily we may always increase the workforce of the government, but we can decentralize in a way that the cities themselves, the township themselves can be able to get involved into policing. Now, but that's supposed. So, well, the going budget period, if I this current budget year, we've increased the police benefit by more than $1.5 million. Last year, about $2 million. Again, I hope Greg will come on listening to me to know that yes, we all make the case for from the day of Patrick Sudu. We've been making the case of the police. But at the end of the day, like I said, Rivergee is shortchanged in the process. So we are hoping and focusing every time. When I speak on the legislative flow, I speak of decentralization. That's my only weapon now. And I hope my colleagues from other smaller counties can join me. That the only way we can benefit, okay, from the smaller county in terms of numbers, we have to decentralize the government. Then we will know the actual capacity of our county and how to fill in the gap. Because there's something called equalization in decentralization. Even though we don't have all the resources at a given point in time, those that got the resources and take the bigger share, the government now can use its own share, like the federal government can do, and redirect it to countries that that are lower in terms of benefit. So if we don't do that, obviously, yeah, we're pushing support for security. You are very, very right. Okay, but like I said to you, at a lower scale, the people themselves, the joint security that is low number, trying to reach out. The DEA, they're doing, I mean, remarkably well with low support, very low support, but they are doing well. Yes, the Burkinabe issue is very important. One of the things we're trying to do is for us to be safer in dealing with the Burkinabes. Not for us to stereotype them, because they are African.
Yeah.
They are African. And they come with some comparative advantages. A key among that has to do with the desire to work.
Yes.
Desire to work. Our people in Rivergee County, the young people, are going to the gold mine. The Burkinabes are coming in and going on the farm to work. So they have that comparative advantage. So one of the things why I was emphasizing that we have the technical school, so that the young people do not find the excuse. Because they will tell you what's the opportunity provided. Today, as I speak now, we have up to 600 young people that are attending the technical school in Rivergee County now. 600. Of that number, I'm sponsoring 200, just to encourage them to leave the mine and be there. So obviously, yeah, it's true. I mean, the Burkinabe issue, yes, a threat is a threat, but we can divert that threat by engaging them. So one of the things we are pushed for with the superintendent, that there's a need for us to start documenting things that we do. Our township commissioner, we encourage them to make sure that when the people come in, they should sit with them and explain the Liberian law. Under our law, non-citizen cannot own a land. So I propose to them that indeed they should go with the issue of production sharing, because the people have the capacity to work, so they can do production sharing. That is to say, I till your land, you the landowner, I work for you everything, and we share a percentage of the proceeds. That way, because if you push it back, I can tell you, they're not going to go back to Africa. They're not going to go back. So it's a threat, but we can mitigate the threat. I mean, amidst the low resources we have by engaging them. So the superintendent is currently in the Côte d'Ivoire, having some meetings, okay, with the superintendent for Taboo in Africa there, okay. So they're trying to see how we can work around those things, because it's a serious threat. But again, like I said, we are pushing for support to the security sector. But if you look at the budget, yeah, it's good, but it goes to the bigger region. That's why we are advocating for decentralization.
Thank you. And my last question, I'll be very quick here. You said something that most of we refer to them sometimes, the disadvantaged youth, or in our collective term, the Zogos, that they're going to be using to some productive finishing product back as a machine back there. That's a very wonderful thing. It refreshed my mind back into how slavery came before, how people used those certain people before in other part of the world that massively built other major cities we see today, right? And these were less privileged people, and that is very good, changing their mindset. Basically, that's a very wonderful thought process, and I would encourage you to do that. But I want to ask this quick question. In Rivergee, ever since Rivergee got a county status during the former president Charles Ganget Taylor reign, do we have, because of the population now growing with that thought process that those things are happening, and with the technical college coming back to Rivergee, we're going to have more people trooping in also, and the place is going to be more industrial. People are going to move in. Do we, by any chance, I want to know this, have any referral hospital or health center? Because health is very paramount. Do we have any referral health center anywhere in Rivergee? And lastly, to add to that, you get out everything. You said something about the production sharing thing. Senator Bezonga Milton Thinnett spoke about something recently when he appeared on OK FM about this production sharing thing from construction company. Do you share that idea also? Thank you.
Oh, sure. In fact, I go beyond that point, Sylvester. I go beyond that point. I go beyond in the sense that first, the land we attempted to do something, and I think since we did that in the Land Right Act, now many people are looking at but we are being, because with Virginia we don't have a major mining company, but it is something that we have on our arm that when you come to us, we have to be clear. We should have a 5% of free carry interest in every investment. You know, that is in the Land Right Act of 2018, and we expect people who have those concessional mining in the area should start to engage the company to, because the law say should go back to recapital rather transaction. Now, I go beyond just the production sharing in a sense that what we call the social benefit.
Okay.
The social benefit in my mind should not be an annual fee or fixed annual fee. I think we discussed that before with Minister Pay. I have been, if you follow the budget, the budget law, most of the time we encourage you, Sylvester, when the budget is passed, just look at the budget law. Okay. I've been fortunate to be the key person, okay, helping to draft the budget law. Yeah, because that's my role on the budget committee. So the budget law had a lot of things in it, but unfortunately for our executive, government before, government now, they try to ignore some of those things. And I care to measure some of those things, on your show today that you can pick from there in most of your comment. So when you say that you pay me 100,000 as a social benefit for using my land and taking off gold, let me use iron ore, okay? Now, there's a possibility of you taking off the ore in 1 year. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get 100,000.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing to, hey, we will tie it to production. Okay, it should be a ratio of what you take out, what you're exploiting, not a fixed amount. We started that with the B Mountain extended agreement, but again, sometimes you in the house. I'm not saying I have colleagues who are not knowledgeable, but we all got our own fee of study. Sometimes we appear kind of more sophisticated in our fee. It's almost like you and a lawyer talking. He want to drag you to the legal fee for it, so he can massacre you. Yes, it always work. So, but we try to make the case that if you give me 100,000 at a fixed amount, you could take all the ore in 2 years now. So that would be a ratio of what is extracted. And I think the Minister of Mines is inclined to that from the discussion we have in the gun budget process. That new agreement, we have to look at that, because that is the key to the production sharing, the advance of it. Because you can't just make it fixed. So yes, indeed, I support Senator Finney. In fact, Senator Finney is a co-chair, is a subcommittee chair on revenue, and I'm also a member of a subcommittee on revenue. So I mean, we've been, talking out loud, and yes, I support that point of it. Yeah.
The issue about the referral hospital. Do we have one?
Yeah, we do have the Fishtown Hospital.
Okay.
The Fishtown Hospital, though it has limited
and then
budget,
plan to improve it.
Yes, one of the things we've been doing for the last 4 years on the budget committee was to be able to increase the appropriation for the hospital. If you check the budget process from 2022, you'll see increment in the Fishtown Hospital. The issue has been, that's why I told people, it's not the meager amount that we appropriate. It's the fact that during the execution of the budget, they underperform. And that's why I think recently you monitor the Senate, when they call out of the CHO, that was based on our advocacy. Okay. That every time we put money in the budget, even if they 100,000, they don't receive it. Yeah, I agree with the issue of Vakolu. when we have 150,000, only go 35,000.
Yes, and that's an issue also.
Yeah, those are the things we've been saying. Rivergee and Dopoh in the room, we share the same experience.
Senator, quickly, is the Senate or the legislature receiving budget performance report from the Ministry of Finance?
Okay, so let me say yes, they received it, and I think from the beginning of my conversation, I was trying to explain that the challenge that being, because we were having our fiscal period from one semester to the other year semester, and the PFL law provide that after 90 days, within 90 days period, the budget still perform, even though it lapsed, but when commitment are made. So every time the ministry brings to all a report, it's just a wish list that we're committing this. So you cannot assess it. So now we have moved to a calendar period.
Yes.
Yeah, we have moved to a calendar period. So for this 2024 budget year, we'll be able now by this month of April, and we come by May, to see the actual fiscal deficiency. Because it's from there you will know, oh yeah, say you committed 40% of the budget. Now you have completed everything now. Let's see county by county, institution by institution. Because when we do that, actually I can tell you, we'll make a progress. And I'm fortunate that the Senate has, I would say, co-opted me to be the oversight senator for the legislative budget office. So we'll be working with the House of Representatives to make sure that we can strengthen that. And if we can do that, actually we'll do better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
From Mr. Nangbe. Welcome to Nangbe.
Thank you very much, Tomalin. Hey, Minister, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the
Nangbe, I beg you quickly. Since you on the platform, let somebody just call and ask a quick question.
Sure.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, my name is Sarah Dopoh. Sorry, I couldn't be on the show because I'm at work and I'm currently on my break. I just wanted to ask the senator.
Any disclaimer?
No, brother.
Yeah, he's my brother. That's the disclaimer.
Okay, we do want to make sure.
Okay, so lately we saw a Facebook post of our young girls, young students sitting on the floor. They didn't have any chairs to sit on. And after we did our background investigation, we came to find out that those students were from Rivergee. So my question to the senator is, what is he doing, or what the people, he along with the people or the leadership of Rivergee doing in order to find a solution to that problem? Is there anything in the budget for those kids to get off the floor? I just need to know, because that was really pathetic, and what we can do to help as well. Thank you.
Good question.
Okay, so I have to respond now, or as we go along?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you will see more photo. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to be the one that's going to tell you that it's not happening in Rivergee County. It's happening all over Rivergee County. It's happening in other counties. It is something that we have advocated over time. And when you take the leadership, and I will encourage you all to follow to go on my page. My website is francisdopoh.com. I have my strategic plan on my website. Things that we say we do for our people in terms of our moral intervention for the people. We did not consider putting chairs in the classroom as a strategic plan for us, on grounds that we felt that every year we put money in the budget. Let me give you some statistics, okay? In 2019, 2020, from 2019 to 2021, the legislature appropriated about $2.9 million for furniture, chairs, and desks for our school. In that same year, the lieutenant of President Myean, okay, I will call President Myean not in no negative way. Please understand, I'm a kind of professional person. He told him that they purchased the chairs, 8,000 chairs. We brought that to the public attention that it was not true. For almost 2 years, President Myean had to go to detour just for Monrovia alone and find that no chair were procured. Then we had to make another appropriation for 30,000 chairs. When those chairs came out, Both of them went to the cash cow county. I just said that earlier. In the 2024 budget, we appropriated up to 1.5 million for cheer. When the Ministry of Finance brought a report, they said they committed 1.4. In the current budget 2025, we appropriated about 2.3 million for furniture for our schools. I'm giving you this stats so that you know that the legislators make appropriation to lead in the direction, but that's the challenge with the implementation, which we need to double our feet on that and see how we can muster the courage to make sure that it's enforced. So that part, my focus was that the statistic that I called to Mr. Gimme here about the number of students, 22,000 students in Rivergee County. Of that amount, 19,000 of them are in the public school. These students pay on the average about 2,500 Liberian dollars, okay, as fees in the schools, besides what government gave to ministry of education. That amount of money, when we add ministry of education, previous time up to now, they're still trying to find report on those things. That money, when we decentralize, that money can buy the chairs for the students. I just want to give some point first. That efficiency can buy the chairs. They have not been doing that. So we are talking about getting up to 20,000 chairs for Rivergee County students. And every 3 years, we must do that because on the level of depreciation. So we thought that, how do we do that? Go to China and buy the chair? No. When you go to China and buy the chair, you got to go by the China and go buy a chair when it's small. But you got all the timbers and things in Rivergee County. So that's why we are sponsoring our young people so they can become carpenters. So what we try to do, yes, indeed, it's pathetic. We've decided in recent time, I think all of you listened to my birthday speech on April 2nd was my birthday anyway. And I say I won't take gifts. I'm going to provide 10,000 United States dollars as a grant to a local NGO in the county to work with the technical college to see how they can help begin to procure some chairs to be done locally. And anybody who wants to assist me can also, do the same for our schools. But the sustainable way of doing it is for us to decentralize the educational system. The county school board will know exactly what's happening there. The funding that have been collected and the one government can give will be utilized. If we don't do that, we'll all make the donation.
Senator, let me interrupt quickly. I beg you, Senator. But you say you're appropriating money for chairs and so forth. You guys have oversight responsibility, oversight over the executive. So if the money was misdirected or not used for internal purpose, what you guys did about it?
Oh, so I initially wanted to have spoken on some of the legislation that I put before the legislature over the past year that stay in committee room that I'm trying to lobby my colleagues. It will be really difficult to use the word misappropriation when the Minister of Finance has the budgetary power by law to transfer in the budget period up to 30% of the budget. So it'll be difficult to call misappropriation. And that at the time that 2008 law was done, Liberia budget was just around maybe about 100 to 130 million. But it's talking about 800 million budget, that leverage is too big. So as we were trying to address one issue too, I'm also proposing to my colleague that they reduce that power and they put some restraint on it. Because the information that was given to all in 2019, 2020 was that government needed to pay salary, so they had to move the money. Now, the information that we get for 2024 is that the budget period are not lapsed. You see what I'm saying? The commitment. So yes, I cannot be seeing that situation where I'm making impact. Yeah, we're still going to make the advocate work do our job, but I'm just saying that based on the question that were asked, what are we doing? Yes, we will make some intervention, but we have to make sure that the budget is done in a decentralized way. We started it on Ansu zoning, where we appropriated the money by counties in terms of the county educational office. Unfortunately for us, the accounts were open, but then it didn't happen. So we're hoping that it will start this year. Unfortunately for us, the Minister of Education have already started violating the educational law, which I have written a communication to plenary. Because when you start violating education law by not going with the decentralization aspect of the educational law, then you cannot have a functional educational system. And it's going to be a problem because the county educational board should be the one to select to recommend the county educational officer. So it's that board that will do the monitoring and work with the PTA and other people to do the job. But if you want to sit in Monrovia and do everything, you will buy all the chairs and bring it in Monrovia and will not get to Rivergee County or Peabody. Those are what
thank you, Tomalin. Senator, welcome again and happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope Zero finished sending a gift already. So I have a few questions, but since you got on, I'm getting a lot of messages from your constituents. Is there a land dispute in the Rivergee area between the people of Glaro and the Kehleboe people?
Oh yeah. It's a serious land dispute.
Okay.
We made intervention before. If you have followed the legislature in 2022, I was the lawmaker who requested the president of the traditional council chair, Santa Kawa, to come before the plenary on the land issue, along with the land authority. Okay, and they told us some of the issues they had, the lack of support and other things, because it was based on those latent conflict that I was seeing at the time. Now, because we know that in terms of that, the results are coming out. Glaro and Kehleboe have a land issue. I've been there before when I represented, quieted down, but the case, we got about 17 land cases in Rivergee County that before the government, the internal affairs, to address. The land authority is centralized. It's not fully decentralized. We need to decentralize things because you cannot have people from Monrovia spending 30 days in our county. They gotta get a GSA. That's too much. So when you look at everything, you can't even want to bring them to solve the land problem. So we have to decentralize our land commissioner offices in terms, especially for the county. I know they're all in Monrovia, they're most around, but in the county, because it's a serious matter. The land issue in Glaro is a serious matter. It's not just only Glaro. We have 17 land cases that we have raised. According to the act that was done, the Land Right Act, each community is supposed to have the land management committee. But the procedure that have been put in place by the land authority, it costs more than only your own land. And we have told them they have to change the procedure. Because if I want to own my land as a community, how can I spend almost up to $30,000 US? Because the procedure you put in place, they're all costly. So what of our problem coming from us as people? Okay, because the procedure we put in place for the land, we have to change the procedure. The people have to come together. And I can tell you, Glaro, Kehleboe, they are family. The family, and it will surprise you that they will be fighting on the land. So the government will come in. When the government go back to central, then it takes time. So I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Right. So the reason I'm asking is, I know you said 2022, but I'm getting communication that apparently the issue has escalated in recent times to the point where so many lives have been lost. I understand you issue a statement, but they're asking whether you don't think the magnitude right now of this problem warrants you cutting your current trips short and returning to contribute to resolving this conflict.
So according to my ticket, I should have been going back. My departure is the 15th of August. I'm sorry, April. But I'm going back on tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was actually getting on the flight because we just celebrated the anniversary, and I left the same day for Rivergee County to get the flight the next day.
Okay.
So that started. Yes.
So I really hope you help. I'm aware of this.
I made a reference to 2022 because I went there when it started again. And I had to quiet things down. Our representative. That's why I made reference to it. And that matter was brought before the central government, where again the same delay.
Great. Senator, real quick, I was just in Liberia a few weeks ago, and I was being hosted by one of the embassies. And at one of the dinners, I asked one of the embassy staff, what are the concerns from the international community in Liberia? Is it terrorism? Is it Burkinabe? And I was shocked when she said the number one fear on our radar that could destabilize this country is the land dispute.
Absolutely.
I was shocked because I was thinking it would be, they did mention the Russians in the area. They did mention the Sahel. They did mention, but on the top of their list was none of those things. They said the land dispute has the propensity to put families against families, tribes against tribes, and they thought it was the most destabilizing factor when it comes to national security. And you say this, and I'm sitting there to myself, and I'm saying, these people are something else. They have that much detail, intelligence on our country than we have ourselves, because I consider myself an informed person. And when I went over there, I thought terrorism, I thought what was happening around the sub-region was the issue that we needed to be worried about. And she said, no, you're getting it all wrong. The problem here is the land dispute. So I'm glad that I hate to give them credit, but this is serious.
Yeah, to just add to that, and sometimes the question would be, so what are you guys doing about it? That's a question that comes to us. So sometimes I like to, make the point about that. The land dispute in the counties, they are not like, you are in Mosorado and you and somebody got a land, you go to court.
Mm-hmm.
They are less than court because they are tribal land. So it requires tribal leadership. It requires leadership. Now, after leadership, then you got to transition now from tribal ownership to, let's say, deeded ownership to the tribe. And that's where the cost is. As I speak to you, I'm sponsoring 3 students from Rivergee County that came from TU, from the engineering department. They are now in Rwanda. They are studying geodetic surveying. Why did I send them there? I believe that after 3 years, when they come back to Rivergee County, they can help us decentralize the process. Because when our young people, when our adults resolve the matter traditionally, there must be a kind of boundary that cannot be changed. So we need that, that process. So I'm just telling you my part I'm playing as a senator of Rivergee County to see how we can get the manpower to help our people. But it needs leadership. So when we fast track decentralization of the local leadership in terms of, we just passed the Local Government Act. So we now need to move to make sure that the land authority is also empowered. So the land authority have submitted to the legislature a comprehensive budget and processes and a plan as to how they can address the issue. We have that before already. Yeah.
I will continue.
Yeah. Is there any other concern? I just want to bring, because I know we are going all over, which is
Zanangwe, are you finished?
No, Jerome cut me off. The Basel people.
Yeah.
Some of the Basel people now.
The man talk about cassava. He said Basel people like eating cassava. That's why I cut you off.
I didn't say that. So, Senator, thank you very much. So I'm glad that this has claimed your attention, because one life lost is one life too many. I understand the first bullet was fired on March 16 rather.
Wow.
I believe you said, April.
On my birthday too, what wrong, yo?
Yeah,
I know, right?
March 15 was the county celebration, the day of the county celebration. We're in Fishtown, and I left 15 days.
Okay.
So what was happening there at the time had not come to our attention.
It had not reached to your attention.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
So let me quickly say this. I know my friend Sylvester alluded to the presence of the Burkinabe in the southeast. I am from Maryland County, but I'm from Barobo, so I'm actually closer to you than I am to Hap. As a matter of fact, my mother was from Fishtown.
Yep.
So yeah, my mother she's from Palibo, so I have some roots.
One of the critical parts of the land dispute too between the Barobo and the
Absolutely. Yes, the immediate past superintendent, Philip, my very best friend, that's when he got COVID, when he went to Hapo to settle that land dispute. But anyway, let me ask you this. I know you said that we should not, we should welcome our ECOWAS brethren in the region because we're from the same region. I get that. But there are concerns about the environmental damage and other acts that are being displayed. It's not just the Burkinabe. The Chinese are there now. The Ghanaians are there now. And what they do is when they go in the place there, you talk about security. There's not much security. Sometimes the whole county has maybe 3 or 4 police officers. The whole county. So there's not that many, security personnel. What these people, we understand they're doing is they go straight to the townspeople instead of going through the local government. And so they buy a few of these people and put them in their pocket and undermine the authority of the local government. And then they have free reign. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were coming. I would have brought you some of the photos of River No, which is really one of the biggest rivers in there. I mean, it means a lot to a lot of people. I know that because my grandma, everybody farm around that river because it's we do it for fishing, for farming. We, boys go there to get girls because girls go there to wash clothes. It means a lot to everybody. But right in that whole river is a stream of filth and dirt because they wash all of the gold mining, sand in there. So I hope this has claimed the attention of our authorities to see how we can find a way to regulate the activities there. But as it is now, there are lots of concerns over these our ECOWAS brothers and sisters. They seem to be loyal to themselves only because they have the quick and readily available cash to buy their way, but they are really doing a lot of harm to our people. And because of our people, many of them not being exposed, they don't understand the magnitude of what they're negotiating. They're giving them peanuts, Liberian dollars, 100,000 Liberian dollars, 200,000 Liberian dollars. It sounds like a lot, and our people are binding themselves into these agreements. So, I'm really appealing to you. I had told former Senator Wisse that maybe we should find a way to bind the southeastern region into one cluster. We're so small, Maryland County, Rivergee, Sino, maybe we can bind ourselves into a cluster of southeastern counties, and together I think will be more impactful. But I wanted to hear your comments on that.
Great point.
Well, I think
because your number small.
Nobody even think about when they look at vice president. You talk about us easy because we're so small. People are telling as they come there, you just why you can't do this thing? Let's put all the countries together. You understand?
Or get a medical residency. They will start voting that time.
So who will be the senator from all that cluster?
No, we'll be all separate countries in collaboration.
Yeah, they will be based on alliance.
That's what it's called, cluster.
Yeah, we have the Southeastern Legislative Caucus. So, but beyond that point, we used to have the Southeastern Alliance for Transformation. Former Minister Toye, Myean, myself, we used to be part of it. Politics, when you put politics in, it's point. So that's sometimes we gotta go beyond politics and just know that in the country called Liberia, the party will win and the party will leave the area and the country will remain. So we need to put out the back of our mind that even the same way we criticize this government and criticize other government, that how the other will be criticized. But the key things that affect us, as a people, we gotta individually come together and fix it. And not just rely on the government. And let me just be key to that point. The Burkinabe issue, it's a catch-22 to a lawmaker when you're addressing the issue of the Burkinabe. And the illicit mine is a catch-22. You can say the way you're going to say it, but I can tell you, to be practical, I have to water it down in a way that it doesn't spark more tension. Because it is our people that bring the Burkinabe. They don't just walk into it. They don't walk there. Nobody live on somebody's land, just walk in there. It's our people. Okay, they bring the people in to work for them. This go into the agreement with them. Now, even you as a lawmaker, when you go there and say, hey, you can't do this, provide education. And they tell you, hey, but you are not giving us, bring the big company, will stop doing the illicit mining. Get a plaque there. Oh, we can't let it go. The people gotta work for. We're in Africa, we're in Ezra, we work on the poor plantation, and all that kind of thing. These things, these are conversations. So when you want to address it as a politician, because I'm a professional man, but I'm a politician now. I have to water it down in a way that while we're trying to harness it, then we can find rescue from somewhere. So we as citizens coming from there, we have to be there and talk to our people. Yes, the citizens have at some point in time they disregard the local government. Disregard local government. But again, the power of the local government is centralized. That's what I'm saying. When you decentralize the power of the local government, then the citizens feel the presence of the local government. They feel the presence. We must have fiscal rules. For example, we say that the licenses, the Class A, Class B mining licenses, according to the Local Government Act, they should go to the county, to the township. Who should control it? The township commissioner, the district commissioner. But we have not started implementing it. So what power was that township commissioner, has to go, and enforce against the people? So we have to be very intentional to decentralize. So when the people know that the 150 license fee that is paid for a claim by this minor who claims not to be illicit is going to them, then they get involved. Then they won't be saying, what do we wait for? Dry dog street, what do we wait for? They get
why you be eating when you eat dogs?
Yeah, that's what they tell. So yes, indeed, we have to fast track the decentralization. And I believe that we too as citizens, okay, in the diaspora or so forth, we should be called River Noise, the entire Rivergee is damaged. I was trying to get a support for investment into tourism for the waterfall that I share with Barobo. For up Barobo, what the mining that's going on there, straight to the waterfall is damaged. For up Katuke, so the whole Rivergee is damaged. At some point in time, there was a ban on that kind of mining. But when the people together, they say the power inherent in the people. When the people together, okay, decide to violate, you can put them in jail. So we have to find other means, and that power that means to make sure that let the people benefit from the fees they're collected, and then they help the government enforce. And that is the decentralization we're talking about.
You're talking about tourism. We've got a tourism man here, so we'll go to him now to at least to ask this question. Mr. Garguah.
Thank you. Senator, welcome to the platform. Sorry for my tardiness, but have some things to do. But I've been following, and I would not let I think the questions the other guys have asked are valid questions. I mean, take me from the screen, man. Yeah, let me see the senator while I engage in, please.
Yeah, ask a question. They will take you from the guy in control. Take you from there.
Yeah, just go ahead. That the field of the tourism.
I don't like attention like that. But Senator, it seems like you have a passion for education, and I do as well. For a portion of when I graduated college. A few years ago, I started an NGO back home in Liberia, and that NGO have continued for the past 10 years. We've been able to do 2 public libraries in Liberia, and have been able to sponsor over 1,000 students, some of whom are schooling in the United States today and in other parts of the world. Some have become entrepreneurs, and they're doing well. And so I understand your passion and the importance of decentralization of education. But I was doing some research, like I always do when we have guests. And I think you spoke, or your office spoke about the fact that public schools in Rivergee generates approximately, I'm not sure if the number is right, but a little over $200,000. Now, 2 questions for that. Are public schools free. Number one. Number two, if public schools are free, how are these schools generating $200,000? Is it because the free school tuition policy is not being adhered to? And if they're generating that such revenue, $200,000, that's a lot of money, and that could possibly do a lot of things to improve the school system as far as books, library for the kids, quality decks, and things like that. I mean, a lot of things could be improved. So on what basis are public schools in Rivergee generating $200,000, and what has been done with that money to reinvest in the education of your constituents? Thank you.
So I speak from experience. The fact that when I became representative, coming from district number 3, that is the Webo and the Sabo district, I had to establish the Rivergee, District 3 Students Association. All those students that were outside Rivergee County outside District 3 and going to school. So I started paying fees at Torgbean. At some point in time, I was paying like about $5,000, for each student there in Torgbean school. So I know that for a fact because I was paying fees for students there. So they call it PTA fees. If you check the Ministry of Education website, it is there. In fact, they officially publish it to indicate that ECE paid $3,500 Liberian. Primary schools, okay, they pay $1,000 Liberian. Then the junior high school, they pay $2,000, and the senior high, they pay $3,000. It's on the website, Ministry of Education. Because schools were charging even more than the PTA fees, so the ministry decided to do a cap on it. So they've even reported before on that. Because when I asked the question, okay, during the hearing, during one of the hearings of the Minister of Education, JASA, and he alluded to that. So when you do the statistic for Rivergee County, you see that we have 7,571 ECE students as per the Visual Education Censor. And if they pay $3,500, that's about 26 million Liberian dollars right there. And then we're talking about also the junior high, the primary, they are 8,592. If they pay 1,000, that's about 8.5 million Liberian dollars. And we have the junior high, that's 1,337. And if they paid 2,000, that's about 2.6 million. And the senior high, 1,246, that's 3.7 million. So that was 41 million Liberian dollars, which is over 200,000. That had got statistics from there. So they've been collecting it. So my point is that it is a PTA fee. Government is paying the teachers. Now, if you decentralize, if you allow the people to use the money for the schools, the critical things, when they see them, they will be able to address them immediately. I want to make reference to let's put all to the table. The level of efficiency, let's put it to the table. You can't be collecting money and you make the school look deployable. That's what that was the I was not making a defensive argument, but I was trying to shield that some of these things are happening. While government is also appropriating funding, you are also collecting. But even the low-hanging fruit, you cannot address it. Even the low-hanging fruit, you cannot address it. Because there's a country where people will see the need that at some level they can address the matter, but they'll say, let central government address it. So we are too centralized. So I want to make that point to be able to draw the ministry into, hey, you have to decentralize. Let the people use their money for the schools. Yeah. Let the 1,400 students are paying in the public high school, let the money go back to the public high school, let them use it to even buy a chair or even buy a truck. They just want to go out those small things. That's the kind of point I was making, Robert. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not sure how true this is, but I think I'm getting, I don't know how I'm getting information that the VIP lounge is on fire or something.
Yeah, I'm getting the same information too, but we got to confirm it.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting some information that the VIP lounge at the airport is on fire. I'm not sure how true. I'll reach out to some folks to see. But my second question that really took me off a little bit. My second question to you is, I think you have been following what's the impasses on Capitol Hill, and the Senate is currently working with the illegitimate speaker. What's your position on that? Do you see Richard Cohn as a legitimate speaker? Because we don't have the record of who voted for or against. I've been trying to get information on that. We don't. So any opportunity I get to ask senators, I ask them. I ask Edmund Snow the same thing as well. Do you recognize Richard Cohn as legitimate, or do you not?
Well, so the fact that we are a concurrent house does not, give me the authority to melt into another house when it comes to their own leadership issue. But what I can tell you is that the Senate took a decision to work with the House of Representatives under the leadership of Richard Cohn. That's what the Senate position. And I'm out with that position. Okay? The legality of the matter will be determined by the court. And let me just say that to you. There is a white elephant in the room that every speaker or leader of the legislature that sit over including our own Senate pro tempore, they tend to know that what elephant in the room. And that's why the public may not have that information or may not have that full understanding about, now with limitation now, but that full understanding about how it works internally when it comes to pushing the cards around in politics at the legislature until you get there. The white elephant in that room that we are afraid of is that our rules are not clear as to how you remove your leaders. Our rules are not clear. That's the white elephant. Go to the House rule. Read Rule 47, read Rule 48. The rules there, the Constitution is clear. Under Article 33, it tells you about a quorum. Under Article 38, it tells you about expulsion. How do you expel members? Then it went further. Under Article 47 and 49, how to remove leaders. It means it separated them. That leaders are not like members. Leaders are beyond members. When you remove a leader of the House, you remove them for leadership, but not from the House. Now, the fact that the Constitution provided those things for us, we are lawmakers. In our rules, we should be clear in the procedure of how to implement that part of the law. That's the white elephant in the room. Because every speaker, everybody would think that I will be silent only because I will control the committee that will investigate, I will do what I want to do. I earned a lead to be belligerent. I have written an article on that. I'm waiting to get back to inform our colleagues on that. Hey, there's a white elephant in the room. You shouldn't be afraid. The rules of the Senate, read it. It tells you how to remove member of the committee. It tells you how to expel a member, but it does not tell you how. It does not tell you
Yeah,
how
I get that. I get that. And let me push.
No, I'm giving it to say that whether Richard Cohn stays or not, as long as they don't address those issues, there will be a power play of majority all the time.
Okay, so I get that part. I get that part. So I want you to. So I didn't understand. Did you say the Senate position is your position as well?
Yeah.
So basically, you support the unconstitutional and illegal removal of the speaker. You're in support of that?
No.
Yes, I mean that's essentially what it is because even though one second now.
There is no unconstitutional removal in the process. It is a Supreme Court that will determine that.
No.
You cannot put, no. It is the Supreme Court that will determine that.
I disagree.
It is your position because the Supreme Court have said to you clearly that this is what the law says. You must have 49 to remove a speaker. What is the procedure of getting 49? Do you have it in the rules of the House?
If the rules of the House, Mr. Dopoh.
Do you have it? I don't want to get into that argument. I'm saying to you.
No, it's not an argument. But
go in the ring for this thing because we are not clear as to.
No, I think
Congress. The rules were revised to be clear on the motion to vacate. To be clear as what should be done. It is not in our rules for our leaders. So I'm saying to you, for you to say unconstitutional, it will be the Supreme Court that will determine that. Because
I
don't
think
have that authority. Like what
I do have the authority. No.
I have the authority to work and do the people business.
Okay, so let me come in there
That's
for a second. Okay, let me come in for a second, right? I understand that the rules and the procedures may be ambiguous for political reasons, right? Because the drafters of those rules are politicians and they know exactly what they're doing. All right. So if you have rules and you leave room for interpretation, that's up to you, right? But I think part of those rules are very clear. They're like ABC. That's one. And then two, the Supreme Court that you said has the power to determine what is unconstitutional or not have rendered an opinion on this matter. And they said the businesses conducted by the so-called majority black were ultra-virus. When something is ultra-virus, that means you don't have the legal power or authority to do so. Now, it goes back to the point that you're making. It goes back to the point. No, 1 second. Let me, Mr. Dopoh. Let me, please, sir. Mr. Dopoh, let's not make this. Mr. Dopoh. Senator Dopoh. Allow me to speak, sir. Mr. Dopoh. Allow me to speak.
I was there.
Mr. Dopoh, I will speak. Senator Dopoh, let's be respectful. I've been respectful to you, right? Yeah. So just allow me to speak, then I will give you the opportunity to speak so the audience can listen to what we're saying. Now, my view is, again, I think, and my thought does not have to be yours. Okay. But I think that, exactly, I think you are on the wrong side of history yet. And I think it's unfortunate, in as much as I like the fact that you stand for education and what you're doing, I think that your action and the fact that you're supporting an unconstitutional attempt to remove the speaker is a part of the problem, right? You can't make excuses based on the fact that you intentionally, the House of Representatives have intentionally created rules and procedures that are ambiguous. But everything in the rules are not like that. The Supreme Court was very clear. The rule says every 6 years you must gather to elect a speaker. That speaker is the presiding officer. The rule also allows due process. That means if someone accused you, Mr. Dopoh, of crimes and allegations are made against you for which reason they want you expelled, they have got to allow you the opportunity to respond to these allegations. Due process. None of these things were followed. The Supreme Court said return to status quo, allow due process. The speaker have said, come on the floor, put your case on plenary. I will recuse myself, respond to your allegations, and if you have the 49 as required by the law, test the strength of the vote, and I will leave. None of these were followed. And so it's unfortunate that you'll sit here and try to justify the elephant in the room. I think the real elephant in the room is the intentional disregard for the rule of law and the Constitution. You want the Supreme Court to say to them, you guys are wrong, majority black. Return back to the main chambers and conduct your business. Guess what? They've said that. Those folks in the House of Representatives are adults. Those folks in the House of Representatives are educated. They should be able to read between the lines. We are not children here, right? So for you to say the Supreme Court determines what is constitutional and unconstitutional without acknowledging the fact that they have made that determination, it's unfortunate.
Okay, so I appreciate your point. Like you said, it is your opinion. And unfortunately, you don't have the authority that can appeal to that opinion because you don't have the authority to make a final decision on the law. And I have the authority for concurrent to work and do the Liberian people business. The question would be to you, if when you were a senator and in the Senate, I'm not in the House, will you close section and don't work because what's happening in the House?
But Senator, I gotta ask you this though.
Let me answer that question real quick. Yeah, let me answer the question. If I was a senator, Mr. Dopoh, because my core responsibility is to not only be an exemplary of the law, but to uphold the law and the Constitution, do you know what I would do? I would do the right thing. And the right thing would be follow the law, follow the Constitution, allow due process, allow an election. That's the right thing to do. And if the majority is not always right, because slavery was once legal in this country and led by the majority. And if the majority decides to do the opposite, then let the majority do the opposite. I'm not asking you to go to work magic. You're one person, but you sit on this platform and proudly have said you support the Senate decision to work with the illegitimate speaker, and you have gone further. You have gone further to make excuses for the speaker. The speaker is unconstitutional. Everything points to unconstitutional behavior, and the Supreme Court said ultra-virus. So what other ruling are you waiting for to say, you know what? These guys are on the wrong side of history, yes, sir.
So unfortunately, if the Supreme Court have had a final ruling on that matter, I don't think it should be in court by this time.
But let me ask you this, Senator.
Before the Senate made a decision.
The Senate, you are in support. The Senate, and you, Mr. Dopoh, also supported the decision to work with the illegitimate speaker. And I can respect that.
You are bringing sentiment to the process because I just said to you, I don't want to go into that because that is another house issue. In my house, there's a concurrent house. You want me to take responsibility there? I told you that the Senate made a decision, and I support that decision. Okay, if you want us to have the conversation, us have all other things, we can have that further, and I can tell you exactly my decision. Okay, but I don't want the entire platform be carried away by another house issue. Okay, when they say each part must have its own rules.
No, but this is a very serious issue.
You want to brush the platform with all the other discussion we have for us to focus on that battle. I only say to you, it is your opinion, okay, and I respect your view on that. The information I do have, I reference the white elephant because I believe that it will always be the case if we don't correct it. That's why I brought it up. I have no.
Senator Dopoh.
One minute, please.
But I'm not there.
I don't want.
And you're holding me for doing my job. No. The question is, we should not be getting paid. The government should not run. You're saying that's constitutionality, or you're saying, okay, I'm saying to you, we took our decision, and I stand by that decision. That was a decision communicated by the Senate, and I stand by that.
Yes, Senator.
We have another platform. We can have an individual view on the matter.
We'll still stick to that to get your view on this process. The presiding levels. Mr. Russell, that's welcome to you. Welcome to the show. So what we're going to do first, so that we don't get distracted, we will allow Mr. Russell, he just came in to just push his point or caution to the senator.
No, but then we're going to... Sylvester, let me just sound a little...
the senator still want to speak on the issue, but he doesn't want to answer the question.
No, because...
We'll take a few minutes to address the issue.
But it will be good for us to have a time on that topic so that I will put myself in the position to what he's saying, and then we can discuss it. Then I'll do all the citation for you. But in this case, we're having a platform of various issues of Liberian people, and we'll be holding that one thing. I said, there's my position. I said, there's yours. So judge me for that for the time being until otherwise. But I'm not going to speak to that matter.
I just want a clarification.
Thank you.
If I can. Yes, thank you. Because yes, Senator, I hear you talk about a white elephant in the room, and you're alleging ambiguity in the House's rules. But and I get it. But doesn't the Constitution Constitution of Liberia supersedes the rules of the House, if the Constitution spells out how the Speaker is supposed to be removed in 49 as well as 33, where is the ambiguity?
So the Constitution spells out that you need 49 for cause to remove. Huh? If I come to you and tell you, Mr. Victor, that yes, I got 49, these are my signature. The next one you come to now, what procedure did you follow? That's why I say that. How you got the 49? Did the Constitution tell you how to get 49? No. So it is your procedure. That's why I'm telling you, what elephant in the room. It is your procedure clear. It should be clear as to how to obtain 49. That if I get the 49, this is what I should do. If you say grant the man due process is not just open to say due process. There must be established procedure in the tribunal by your own rules. So I agree, but you're not getting the point. It's not telling you the procedure. I said that is what you should do. How are you going to do it? Senator
Dopoh.
But the 43 never got a 49 though.
Let's see, Senator Dopoh. One minute.
No, I come and give me hold on. Give me hold on. Senator been having a cruise for the past.
Give me hold on. No, yeah, the reason we have a cruise. They said
don't protect your moral caliphs, brother.
Hold on, Mr. Gimme. Hold on, Mr. Gimme. Mr. Gimme, hold on.
The senator, from what I'm hearing,
Mr. Gimme, I'm not presiding. Mr. Gimme, will you respect the presiding?
Go ahead, presiding. We got procedure here. Go ahead.
But on a serious note, we will take some time that we try to focus basically on the issue about the 49. Said the 49. And again, the center start of the argument now is they didn't tell all the procedure how we can get the 49, right? So it's another phase of AC. Okay, well, the 49 is still a resolution of 49% on. So there's the name of say, well, the procedural mechanism is where the debate is in the other thing. So the argument here now is, is that the Supreme Court should be coming over a statement. The first statement the Supreme Court came up with, it was a little ambiguous, right? Now the bit of information, we stay with the Supreme Court to come and say something, and we stay struggling. Yesterday, again, as I said on the show, I'm deeply frustrated myself. Everybody is frustrated. Right? I understand from the perspective from where your thought process is on this issue, right? Because it's built on constitutionality, and the Constitution of our country is a supreme instrument. And I like the side of how our honorable big brother, progressive big brother put it, in terms of because the Constitution itself said the Constitution is supreme than any law in our country. The Constitution stated that, right? Mm-hmm. So the supremacy of the Constitution cannot be questioned. But again, the Constitution gave authority to one body to interpret, and that's the Supreme Court, right? But again, the debate will always continue until the Supreme Court can come out and say things. So if you guys still want us to find,
yeah, but that number, I think Gilman had a point of correction.
Before I can bring in Mr. Russell, I will let you Gilman to come in. I will let you Gilman. Yes, Senator, 1 minute, please. Before we can bring in Mr. Russell, that just joining this conversation, I will bring in Gilman and give him 1 minute to either bring a thought or a question out. So go ahead, Gilman.
Excellent. Senator Dopoh, I've been listening to you, and I like the word that you use, the white elephant. Honestly, I think you are the white elephant in this conversation. You are one of the white elephants in the Senate.
Yeah,
because you are trying. We are all sophisticated here when it comes to. You are trying to split hair. This is what we call political splitting hair. You know very well that this is wrong. And you have sided with it wrong. Instead of admitting that you have sided with it wrong.
Senator, you get an opportunity to respond. Let the man speak.
Chair, I want to make my point. I think the senator is one of the elephants in the room, and it will remain so until he recognizes that. Thank you, Chair.
Before the Supreme Court, and you say, I'm going to discuss it on my position. Then you say this is wrong. Which one is wrong and right?
But you've already taken a position. Which is you recognize Corn as a legitimate speaker.
No. Pewee just said something to you. The ruling that came from the court, okay, King. Everybody felt a victory. We have the budget before us. We have to run the country. You are saying to you as a patriot of the people that the Senate to sit and say, until we clarify this thing here, we will not do the paperwork. Then the government go on a fiscal cliff.
Yeah, but no country function. But Mr. Dopoh, Mr. Dopoh, no. Mr. Dopoh, Senator Dopoh, Senator Dopoh, Senator Dopoh, Senator Dopoh.
Hold the budget. The country our people should be demonstrating, and the country goes down and everything before we work. Until some people determine everything before we work. That's what you're saying to me,
Senator Dopoh. Senator Dopoh. Senator Dopoh. No country.
So I'm not going to speak on the matter.
Okay, Senator Dopoh. We'll move on. We'll move on. But here's what I will say to you, Senator Dopoh. No country. The fact that you're giving the Liberian people a choice between functioning under legal constitutional mandate as opposed to passing a budget under unconstitutional illegal mandate, it's not the future, sir. So we don't want those options. What I'm trying to explain to you is, just because you have to pass a budget does not mean you dance with the devil to pass that budget. The budget processes must be done under legal procedure, and the Constitution mandates that the Speaker of the House of Representatives preside over that process.
Yeah. So what we're going to do? We're going to move on. Thank you, Senator. We're going to move on here, and we await the court. And trust me, we all are very concerned. And I'm one of those individuals that will sit here and always pray to God that because part of the reason why people like Mr. Nambe and the rest of Bako Mafia and the rest of the folks, Community Wisa and the rest of the folks have fought for, I can recall, and one of the Community Wisa on the radio, and we always call. He says, he says, Sylvester Pewee, you call in out every day, you call on the radio because we fought for it. So respect us. And I mean, and let me agree, it's because of what the day today we can be on the radio, so calling from this place, calling from that place. Today we having debate about the Supreme Court coming. So, Mr. Nambe, let me say again, thank you for the role you guys played to bring democracy to us. On a serious note, we cannot debate today. We have a certain senator that is exchanging with us. It didn't happen. Yes to yes, you will record that. But I think this is a very important
Mr. Progressive, having said that, since we're on public radio, let the record show before we move forward. That Senator Francis Dopoh, I like his passion for education, but let the record reflect that he's on the wrong side of history. He's supposed on a constitutional.
He's saying for now.
The Supreme Court already ruled autovirus. What does that mean? You do not have the legal power authority to do what you're doing.
But again, the recent Supreme Court debate,
when you are part of the process and then you make a decision.
The recent quickly before
opinion already. Then you say before
we quickly pivot, the recent Supreme Court debate. Thank you, Senator. The recent Supreme Court debate before we move forward. So clear, the Supreme Court debate also hit the both lawyers. To make and it costs more concern to us.
You listen to Supreme Court on both sides.
From both sides, Supreme Court scored both sides. So we really want Supreme Court to come and interpret now for us. So if the Supreme Court came out tomorrow for definitive action, trust me, if Supreme Court came out today and say the other side, if the Supreme Court the rule tomorrow and say the other side, I will be the first person to call my own mortgage brother to say the Senate should rescind her decision about what you did. The Supreme Court rule is definitive on its one. So that move on quickly.
Don't let us set you up. Don't let us set you up. Because Supreme Court does not rule in that way. They want to make an opinion.
We want to clear. Yeah, opinion be clear. Be clear.
Supreme Court will not be clear to say you wrong and you right. They don't do it. Don't operate that way.
Then we don't know how. Unfortunately, Mr. Welcome, Mr. Russell. Today there's another debate happening. Before I bring in Mr. Russell quickly, there's this news round just about the airport situation. Right, we learned that today.
I got 14 more minutes, please.
Yeah. We learned that.
You're in America. Why are you trying to run from us? You're not in Liberia.
Tomorrow, so I'm going to watch.
Yeah, but you're flying. You're going to relax. Give us 30 minutes. You don't want to engage us no more.
The man LEC. Your LEC gotta go. Don't tell it. Don't let it.
I announced that earlier before I came. I will have another time.
But give us 15 more minutes. I got one more question for you. 15 more minutes.
We'll keep the senator for additional 25, 30 minutes maximum. Maximum 30 minutes. Maximum 30 minutes.
Can you substantiate the airport thing?
It's still very sunny, but there was some power outages also again today there before something happened. The power went off again today. And I think the senator will have to discuss part of that. But Mr. Russell, let me welcome you to the show. We having
thank you.
Former Rivergee County Representative and now Senator Rivergee, Honorable Francis Dopoh is with us today and on the closing argument. I will give you the time now to come up out of a caution of a statement on the show. Thank you.
Welcome and thanks. Great having me on again this evening. Senator Dopoh, nice to meet you. I'm a honorary citizen of your county, Rivergee. I served in Rivergee for about 2 years and have some really fond memories of Rivergee. So it's great seeing you work with Senator Tomalin, his name. We stayed to his place and he gave us a lot of assistance, and I believe in working in Rivergee. I've been to the length and breadth, as they say, of Rivergee. So it's great to see one of the sons from Rivergee on here and being in our company. So thanks for being here. It's nice meeting you.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you, too. Nice meeting you. Thank you. We will invite you back to Rivergee.
All right. But I left. As a whole separate conversation. But a little disappointed the way things have turned out there. But we can have that conversation another time. Was certainly offline or so. I think now the conversation on hand is about what's going on at the Congress there, the national legislature, and it's sad, it's unfortunate, and I think it's really stifling the growth of the country. It's making us look very elementary in so many respects. So my only thing, I don't have any questions, Sylvester. I only would just say that if I can impress upon the senator, and like all of us have been, like many level-headed Liberians, have been, is that the situation in the legislature has to be addressed, and it must be addressed like yesterday. And we need some people of reason and to step up and follow the rule of law. We've seen how impunity is deeply affecting our country. We saw what happened last week when one of the lawmakers there was cited for a traffic violation, and he summoned the officer who wrote him the ticket and the police chief. We can't be having that kind of stuff happen in a civilized environment, in a civilized world. The lawmakers have to be, people who are also respecting the law and not breaking the law, and they're not above the law. So, that's just what I just like to add, and I'm just meeting for the first time, so I just hope that these are some of the things that are front and center of my mind. And I know that I just came back from Liberia, and I just seen the profound lawlessness in the country, and it's being led by lawmakers at the front of the impunity that is wrecking the country. The lawmakers are at the front of the lawlessness. So I just hope that those things could be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, and I respond to that quickly.
Yeah. So I want to say thank you for the points you raised, and that is why when we speak about rules being clear, sometimes today I may not have the audience or the platform that you have, that Rabbi is enjoying, to listen to what I say about the wet event. When we talk about rules, detailing rules is very important. In 2019, I was the sponsor of the Standardization Act. When I sponsored that bill and President Weah signed it into law, I was being accused of being a sedition, because by then I was a member of the Unity Party. I've been accused of being a sedition for supporting, because it was being linked to the quote-unquote harmonization. But people didn't see that I was looking at the future, because at the time, the recognizable benefit for public servant was the Liberian dollar salary. The US dollar was an allowance. So any minister could come, because the allowances are discretional, because they were not part of the civil service point or the favor paying or so forth. So the fact that the Minister of Finance at the time can harmonize using the allowance, I thought was important to create a checkpoint in the future and propose a bill to standard that salary and making sure that we got one salary so that nobody can come tomorrow and say it's allowing, I can harmonize it. Today, a lot of people now are projecting that they are quoting the harmonization, the standardization act, but at the time, they label me as a sedition for doing that. I'm saying it because I go beyond party politics. I'm raising the issue about the white elephant. I said it because I want you people here, especially the neo-progressive Sylvester Pewee, to go beyond what I said. I will share my article with you so that you can help develop more on it and see that when we try to clarify a lot of things, okay, we will know exactly. Because for me, yes, guilt by association, it's obvious. The fact you're part of something, you're there, even though you have a different view on it, or you're not part of it in terms of the action, but the fact you're there, guilt by association. I accept that. However, that is a logical fallacy. It doesn't mean that it's true. Okay, so I take advice from people on this note, because I'm fighting to make sure that when you come to the legislature, we shall have set a basis where you can just come and pick up from. That's why I'm raising some of the points so we can know it. That's it. So thank you for the point. I take consideration of your consent.
So let me just 30 seconds. Listen, I'm not enjoying this conversation. And the reason why I'm not enjoying the conversation, Senator Dopoh, is because it creates chaos. And in fact, it has created chaos. I mean, look at what's happening in the country today. The lawlessness that have occurred on Capitol Hill has expanded throughout the country, right? And all I'm saying is the Liberian people depend on minds like yourself and others, where there are confusion, to help create some sort of stability, right? But what has happened, in fact, is the confusion is coming from Capitol Hill. There's no sense of stability, okay? And so it's difficult to be in your position, but it's not difficult to do the right thing. It's difficult to respond to the tough questions, and it's difficult to make political decisions, but it's not difficult to do the right thing. And so if I was in your position now, and I will wait until the Supreme Court, the second Supreme Court ruling follows. So then one second now. I will wait until the second Supreme Court ruling follows, and then I will demand that we'll bring you back. But while we are waiting, I want you to leave the show with these words from the Chief Justice. This is what she said. In addition to the ultravirus, she said, and I quote, "Where he, Speaker Kofa, is still sitting, and you open a parallel section, it can create chaos." And then she also follow up. There are, and I quote, "there are rules to follow. And if you fail to follow those rules, you could set the wrong precedent." Good. So if the Supreme Court Chief Justice is saying what she's saying, doesn't it ring a bell? That the action. One second. Let me land.
Give me 2 seconds. He'll let in 10 seconds. So I'll let in 10 seconds.
10 seconds too long.
10 seconds. 10
seconds too long.
Okay, go ahead.
Doesn't it ring a bell that something is not right? And shouldn't that be a guide to help you decide as a senator regardless of what the decision the body have made, to say, gentlemen, ladies, I think we have.
You said 10 seconds too long. You're going to go to 10 seconds.
Robert, the order I'm calling you to, the order I'm calling you to is this. When the judge, okay, is interrogating or handling a matter, comment made by that judge are not opinion. So you cannot use, that's interrogation of strategy, whatever judge will use. You cannot use that as an opinion. That's the order I'm bringing you to. Other than that's what could carry it, that is the opinion of the court. It do not quote the chief judge other way. The chief judge have the authority to play a double advocate, whatever the case is, until she have our opinion. So you cannot use that as an opinion.
That's on the speaker name.
Thank you, Senator Dopoh. Thank you, Senator. Before we move forward, because our listeners are very important also to this matter. One of Martin Woody is asking how Mr. Pewee catapulted himself as the presiding. No. So let me clarify, Martin. That's a good point. We're not acting the way the guys acting in the house, right? It's a real process. So the presiding officer, too many judge left, and he asked me to take on the matter. So I will ask.
Pewee, do you know why he asked the question?
No.
Because maybe your rules are not clear. When the president is
no, the rules are very clear.
No, the rules clear. The president will communicate. So the rule is clear. No, that's why I want to explain to him.
The president is deemed absent. When
the rules are very clear, you just don't know the rules. That's the reason why I'm not fighting to take over him.
Yeah, and I like that. I like his point, right? But the rules are very clear. So what the presiding did, one of the presiding leaving, the presiding will ask one of the panelists to take over, and that's what he did.
He doesn't have to announce it on the air. He doesn't have to announce it on the air.
No, he doesn't have to announce it. Because, the builder of this, we were not quarreling among ourselves. So I'm not as a presiding officer. Now I'm the presiding officer. I took charge of the matter. So Martin, Martin, thank you for asking the question. But I didn't catapult myself. But I'd rather ask by the presiding to take charge until he can return. So before we move, because the senator will be departing us maybe in the next 15, maximum 20 minutes. The time is being reduced now by 10 minutes. So I will take this time to get back to. Now, Senator, it is important. We will get back to our Grand Junior brother, and that's your neighbor where you muted. You muted. You are muted. You muted.
No, not me.
No, he is.
I think he said somebody muting him because someone muted him from the other end because he's not muted from his end.
I don't have that control. I don't have that control to
Anthony, go back and come back.
Upside down.
Go out and come back.
Go out and come back.
He keep being upside down. That's why.
Maybe Rivergee trying to slap me on her.
Yeah, upside down.
Yeah, so we'll do that. But the basic thing we get is some information, Senator, about this unfortunate situation at our international air. You'll be learning there hopefully tomorrow. By the grace of God, you're going to be learning tomorrow. It's a serious thing. And you are a country senator. And you directly represent the state also in terms of our representation process. Is this a very concerning matter to the Liberian Senate? This issue about power outages all of the time at our only international airport? Does it concern you and the rest of the 29 senators?
Okay, so I am a member of the Transport Committee, which the airport falls above our oversight. The legislature is on break, okay? But because it's concerning, that's why they called a hearing. When it occurred, I think yesterday or so, there was a hearing at the Senate. I think you followed that hearing.
Yes.
There was a hearing on that. So it's concerning. It is concerning. And it's not political in nature, it's concerning as a country. Because I see people say, oh, it happened another time. Other people say, it happening now. Next person can again say, it happened another time. We have to find a solution to our power situation in our country. So it's concerning. So my colleagues are there. I don't have the facts with me, but they are there. So they will get the facts and then we will join them soon.
Will you be calling on the president to dismiss all of the current management because of their ineptitude? Because this is the second time.
No, I don't have the information you have.
Okay.
So I won't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you got all of the basic information, then if you want to,
if I got the basic information and what you're saying is true, then I will support your view.
Okay.
Mr. Senator,
Jimmy, go ahead.
Yeah, when you say you don't have all the facts, you came from Liberia when yesterday?
I came from Liberia on the 17th of March.
Oh, okay. So you've been out of the country.
And I came in the morning, early in the morning.
Okay, so
yeah,
you've been, the reason
he's been out like 2 weeks now.
Yeah. So, okay. It makes sense.
Almost 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. Thank you.
So let me jump in. I don't think it makes sense, Mr. Gateman, and here's why. The senator he can walk and chew gum at the same time. So the senator has an office, and you would expect that, regardless of the location of the senator, he is being briefed on occurrences in the country. If the country was, if we just talk about what's happening with Rivergee and the land dispute in Rivergee and the death situation, are you telling me that because he's been out of the country, he's unaware of what's happening in Rivergee? No, he's not unaware of what's happening in Rivergee. He's been briefed. He got people.
Can we just hold on small for me? Yeah, okay.
He got people on the ground that will brief the senator every morning on what has happened in the country and what he needs to be informed with. So no, I don't agree that because he's been out the country he doesn't know what's happening. I think Senator Dopoh is trying to get away from taking a position again on a crisis that I believe is a problem. But since you are unaware of the facts.
No. I want to hold you a little bit.
But Mr. Dopoh, why you always interrupt me now?
No, the reason I'm interrupting you because you're taking a long time. You said something, and I just want us to just be a little bit interactive. He said he understands when I said that I cannot take the position of Sylvester Pewee because he's saying the people are inept and they should be dismissed. I should ask the president. I said because I don't have the facts as to why leading to the ineptitude or if it is true they are inept. I can't run a decision. I'm aware, there's no current. I've been briefed. Does that mean that my staff will be in the chamber to sit in or access all the documents, all the thing? No, my colleagues will have to brief me. Yes, I follow the debate, but they have to be informed. They got to make decisions. So I can't. No, you are speaking about omnipresent and omnipotent. Yeah, you cannot treat me like that. And anyone who behaves that you have knowledge to everything, that how you kill your country. Okay, the police are on the ground. There is a committee on the ground that did a hearing. That committee will give the report. When I get on the ground, before I sign that report, they will brief me. I will ask some questions, even though I will see the writings there. But under the rules, I have the right to ask for briefing before I fix my signature.
Okay,
can I ask you this? I'm sorry, and I understand you may not have the facts, but from you being in the Senate about 6 years now, correct?
No, it's my second year in the Senate. I've been in the
second year in the Senate.
For going to 8 years. 6 years.
You've been in the legislature.
In the legislature for 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The reason I'm asking this, and you're on the Transportation Committee.
Correct.
When we look at the budget, right? The last budget before this one, $2.6 million. I believe that's what was given to the airport. This year, what? $3.2 million. Compare that to $40 million that you guys appropriated for vehicle fuel.
No.
No what?
Can I call you to a point, please?
Okay, go ahead.
Because the reason I call you to a point, please, I know Bible doesn't like it. It's so that, when I know you want to say things that you may get the information first. So the airport is an autonomous agency of government. That airport, is an autonomous agency of government that's supposed to run itself.
Yes,
what
right.
we give it is a
supplement. Yeah.
Okay.
It is not in the main line of the budget.
That's correct.
So I just want to let you know.
So thank you, but you just made my point. It is evident that the airport is incapable of supporting itself.
Taking care of itself.
This is a problem that has been recurring over and over and over. The president just brought 2 generators to that airport because they are incapable of buying their own generator. That is a fact. So you said the budget committee. I just wanted to know what is it that, what is the thought around when you guys are in the room on the budget committee, how to address these kinds of problems? Obviously, they need a bailout to get them to a place where they will be able to generate their own money and support themselves. I don't think they're there yet, because otherwise we wouldn't be having these problems.
So what the need you think?
It appears to me they may need more support than they're getting.
So you see something, that's right. Let me say this to you. We have budget hearing. We engage the institutions. Okay? They bring the case, they bring the issue. We can pretend here that I should tell the airport authority that is what you need. No. You run the institution, you have the issue. When we're doing the budget in 2024, the airport authority issue was not about electricity. It was about navigational aid. So let me let you know now. Okay? So that's what they brought to us.
So then why they giving the generator if that was not a problem? Why did the government go out to beg the Mahana brothers to give us
generator? Maybe they felt that they already made an arrangement to get it. Is that a problem? They felt they made an arrangement to get it, so they didn't bring it to us. If you want to come to me for a support and you believe that Robert will give you the other one, do you have to bill me again? Maybe that's what it thought.
So let me finish my. Let me ask it.
Rabbi, if I may come here before the senator leaves.
Let me finish my last question for the man before Anthony come in, please, so I can leave the senator alone because he got to go. But I think senior my pops there, Mr. Nyenwolo, I think he basically sum up what Sylvester said when he talked about ineptitude. Because again, what they've said to the committee, as far as the reason, were that birds are sitting on the transformers, right? And it's as a result of nearby dump sites, right? And so this is not the first time this has happened, even though we did not get a reason or an explanation on what caused the darkness when it happened a few months ago. You remember, this is not the first time the RIA has went dark. This is also not the first time it's happened because this government, it happened under CDC-led government. And of course, it became a political issue where many Unity Party partisans concluded that the CDC government just did not have the requisite experience to lead anything. And they concluded that the airport went dark, or the consistent darkness of the airport was as a result of incompetence and lack of leadership. Now, this government been in office for a little over 15 months, and this is the second time the airport has gone dark in a period in the period of 6 months. So if they're saying, the experts are saying this is as a result of birds, and these birds are attracted by a dump site or trash nearby, when you return to Liberia and get briefed, I want you to apply some common sense here, because that's what I'm doing here. I'm not an expert on this issue. But why should we even have a dump site near the port of entrance in our country? And that if there's a dump site near the port of entrance in our country, why do birds have to play with the transformer to go dark for over almost 9 hours, risk the lives of people, right? Create this national embarrassment for someone with some common sense to say, listen, these dump sites does not belong by the port of entry. Why is that? And so if you look at a report like that, what would be your response to that? Is this something that's logical? Or do you think it's illogical to the point where the president should fire those in charge of the airport authority?
So, interestingly, the report will not be written the way you said it.
Oh, it will not be written the way I said it. Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So
every time I put it so, you put it so. I put it so, the man put it so. I put it so, the man.
Bro, leave the man so I can have at least 1 minute at least to ask the question.
Not something you just want to just respond because you got a question. You work with a committee. To have a leverage on a committee, you have to be sensitive. You have to know how to navigate. So you don't just come abroad and just say, this is my opinion. Then tomorrow you come and say, oh no, that's what I say, and then you start to justify beyond it. No, it's better to save your opinion and get your facts and say it out, then to say and come back and be changing it.
Fair enough. Before
I can do that, so I'll wait for the report.
Before the center will be wrapping up in 5 minutes, and we allow our dear brother from Grand Judah County to post his question 1 minute. Then
the Grand Judah County.
The center will use that time.
Look,
to respond. 1 minute, please. The center use that time to respond to your question and then wrap it up in all.
No problem. So I have serious concern with the issue of the Burkinabe thing, but we don't have time, for me, I see it as a national security threat to our nation. I work with Burkinabe. I used to speak the dialect of Mosi. I can still understand it, so I understand these people very well. But let's go. Yeah, I grew up in the Ivory Coast at Bondon, but let's go to the airport circumstances because I think it's so dear to my heart. I'm glad you're on the committee of transport, and so you have an oversight over the airport. Now, let me ask you this question. Part of your responsibility, do you know the electrical system or the infrastructure of the electrical system at the airport? What or not we have 1, 2, 3 backup systems? Are you aware of that?
No, I can acquire it. Being having oversight does not give you the knowledge for everything. I can acquire the information.
Yeah, but you don't have to be an energy expert to know what or not their backup system. When I work right now, currently, we have 8 backup generator, but we only need 5. But for any kind of circumstances, we have extra 3. Even though we need only 5, but we have extra 3, right? Apart from other stuff, right? So I understand when it comes to hybrid or backup system. One goes down, the other one goes down. The electric grid, which is the LEC, has nothing to do with the backup generator. So let's say the excuse, because I took this very seriously. Anything you're doing in Liberia, the very first thing is reliable source of power. No other developmental agenda that you will undertake that will be successful without reliable source of power. So they came to you and said they wanted the computer system working. That's what they were focused on. But that computer system will not function without a reliable source of power. You understand? So now, because of that, we want to know, and part of your responsibility when you go back, since you're on this committee, we want to know what kind of backup system do they have? Do they have 1 generator, 2 generator, 3 generator? Because with the main grade, which is the LEC, transformer can go bad. That does not prohibit the other generator to start working. It cannot stop the generator from working. So they cannot hide that complaint behind that transformer. Even that 15 transformer blew up. It does not stop 3, 4, 5 generator in line to function. We got to take our job seriously. We got to promote our country. And we got to make sure that electricity is not a place of compromise. So I just want to give you that responsibility when you go back home so you can inform yourself and work on those things. I'm not going to ask you any other question because I don't have enough time.
So let me say thank you. Your comment will help to inform my judgment in the process.
Yes.
It's important.
I'm sitting there at work, so I can tell you all of that. I can tell you where I work right now, but I know what I'm talking about.
Obviously, I know that those are things they should be looking into. So I don't want to sidestep my colleagues. I guess behind the scene, they are working to get all the information. We pass on some of your concern to them while we stay here. That's part of the interaction that we have.
No problem. Thanks for your working education.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And we're hoping to work with Rabbi in the future. When we put away this whole
we can profile when you to come back. When you come back next time, we'll profile today.
I'll come to Rivergee, but you gotta lead the convo to Rivergee with me. I'll come to Rivergee.
Yeah, no, I think we put away the issue, then we can go to the other one. Very important to our people.
Rabbi, you hear what the man said? You gotta put away the issue first. If you put it away, you can go home.
No, I think I will not go. No, I said we will put it away. I mean, because we have a very view on it, so we're gonna clarify, so we can be able to move on the same wavelength. We get be meeting all the time, be having the same discussion, change the discussion. So we'll get
the comment section is in the airport dog again.
Yeah.
Sylvester, who's coming? Can I pose a quick question to the senator?
So the chairperson of that committee, I will call him, Senator Saidy Joseph, is the chair on the transport committee. And
you
I
need to
will
come here
place
too.
a call to know.
Yeah, so Senator, just few seconds, and you wrapping up now. We're not going to hold you for long. You're wrapping up. Yeah, Mr. Nambe, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sylvester. And Senator, thank you very much for your kindness, your patience. You know, Robert is really giving you a hard time. You know the young people. But I had to ask you this, and you're a ranking member. I think the chairman on gender. Am I correct?
Vice chair.
Okay, vice chair.
Oh wow.
You know, coming towards the end of President Weah's term, and even I think during this president, you know, a number of unfortunate incidents with our young ladies. I mean, we're talking the Jessica Lloyd and Lucas Richie situation, where she almost got beheaded by this gentleman, and you know, before that, the Princess Cooper situation. You know, is there any? Are there any thoughts in probably proffering a bill or something to, because apparently these incidents had to do with non-Liberians, our ladies interacting with non-Liberians. Are there any thoughts on proffering much stricter laws that will protect our young females? I mean, I know they have to interact with, you know, to get along, but I think they need some little protection more than what they're getting. Are there any thoughts along those lines? Thank you.
Well, except that I'm not getting the question right. Maybe
what I'm asking is,
it's not clear.
No, what I was asking was
they're not protecting them, that we can amend the laws.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it just seems to me the threshold for acquitting these people is too low. I mean, Lucas got acquitted. The Princess Cooper case, I think the accusers got acquitted and all of that, you know, and it's just frustrating. Seeing the pictures and the Jessica situation, you know, and yet Lucas, you know, was able to, you know, get out of the country on acquittal. That's what I was talking about.
Acquitted by the court.
Yes, using the existing laws that I was asking, can we reinforce what we have to raise the bar for acquittal?
Well, so I will have to look through that. Honestly,
thank you.
And I have to look through that. It makes sense. However, you know, sometimes laws, we try to make laws when we're angry, because sometimes they say make law beyond the veil of ignorance. So when you're on a certain side, you make the law to protect you. When you're on the other side, then it goes against you. So we'll look at it and see. Honestly, I talk a lot on it just so I can inform myself, because serving on the committee, you know, like I said, does not give you all of the information at once. But as when those things come out, you can be able to take note and see how you do a follow-up. So I will do a follow-up on that.
Thank you very much.
You're progressive.
Yeah, so Senator, can you just give a parting comment?
Yes. So I understand. First, let me say thank you to every one of you for your comments and your points, your question, engagement. You're all fine, fair, you know. I love heated debate. It's just like at some point in time you have limitations on certain things. That's why you want to control yourself. At some point in time, you want to do that. Also, to those that are listening to us, I want to say, you know, thank you for listening. Rivergee is challenged. That's why we decide to come in to help, to serve our people. We will do all we can. Something Mr. Namwe was trying to say, you know, I will love it for you to pass it. But I can tell you, Mr. Namwe, honestly, if it's a decision of the legislature that we are paid at a certain very low amount, I will be happy, provided that the proceeds from what is taken from me, you know, cannot be used for cash cow counties. To be used for the benefit of my county. I will be happy for that, because whenever we make a decision in 2019, we reduce our benefit by 30% in 2019 to put teachers and nurses on payroll. Unfortunately for Rivergee County and Dopoh, the cash cow counties got the teachers and nurses. We didn't get it. So that was an adverse loss to me, I know, as a representative at the time for Rivergee County. So we want to make sure that when we decentralize, we can move ahead to serve our people. Key thing I want to raise, I have not seen all of the platforms. I want to ask you, can they look into the budget law? There are issues in the budget law that Liberians should take advantage of. What do you have to do with the 25% preference? Preference for 25% of our budget execution should be squarely for only Liberian businesses. It is the second year that we have raised that in the budget because I'm one of the champions of that. And I don't see it on the platform. Sometimes we raise it, we share with people, but they like not taking interest. I know the politics of the day is there, but the things that will make our economic power and strong, we got to put more emphasis on those things. I want to say thank you. I don't have much to say to you, but also let you know that I have 6 current. I have 7 legislation before the legislature in the Liberia Senate. 7 legislation. I have done citizen engagement on those legislation. What they have to do with the adjustment in the income tax benefit to impact low-income earner because of inflation. People who shouldn't have paid tax, they are not paying taxes. I have that before the legislature. I have before the legislature the Budget Transfer Act that I talk about, the reduction in the control, the discretion given the Minister of Finance to transfer or reappropriate 30% of the budget. We need to control that, and also have before the legislature the Rent Control Act that will help to protect both tenants and property owners. We don't have a rent control law in Liberia, obviously. So I have that as one of my legislation before the committee, and I also do have what we call the Civic Education Commission. I'm proposing the Civic Education Commission because if you notice, we have 2 referenda in Liberia, one during Manaseti time and one during President Weah time, and the intended result was not gotten because of the lack of civic education. And we'll continue to go around it over again. Once the election commission can be doing civic education and election yearly, they put more attention on election yearly than civic education. So I'm hoping that those legislation before I will share that with you. I have a whole booklet on that. But I want to say thank you for the time, for your platform. I will make it my duty to help, like I always started doing, help sharing your link, and also be able to join you another time or to have a couple of discussion. And some of them at some point in time I will appeal to you that you let me know in advance in terms of the issues we discuss. The reason I'm asking for, because sometimes I want to distinguish my political position from real economic issue that help our people. Yeah, because nowadays most of our audience are interested in just the politics of the day, but the real thing that try to provide empowerment for young people, they lose track of it. I just want to have that appeal so that you know that. I'm not saying all the time I want economic issue, but I do have interest in political matter. But sometimes I just want the people to be able to, the mindset should move to the fact that there will always be one political party, there will be one CDC, there will be one Unity Party, there will be one ANC, but Liberia remain Liberia. And it will be the same people passing from one party to the other. I can tell you that. But Liberia remain Liberia. So we need to put our attention on the things that really impact Liberia, especially the young people. Thank you very much.
Do you miss the LRA sometime?
Sorry?
Do you miss the LRA sometime?
No, I think of the LRA, but I don't miss the LRA because I made a decision. I resigned before going to be representative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator Dopoh. Thank you for being part of the closing argument tonight. I think your being with us tonight was very much useful to the platform, both our listeners and the team of panelists here. The interactive process was very much good, and we look forward to meeting with you time to time, and where the hard question will be moved to. Let me say to you, we want to wish you a very safe flight back home, and we hope that you help to push the country and project our country moving forward. Thank you.
Well, P, when are you going back home?
Soon. I'm always home. I'm just here soon, but I'll be back very soon. Very soon, hopefully.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Hopefully,
thank you,
before the end of June.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Gentlemen, we are. We just listened to. We're going to do some brief analysis. I think we'll be closing by. I think the time to close will be 8:15, 8:20 thereabout. So the senator is out, so I think we can
look back, yeah, major issue that are unfolding today in the country, basically. About me just share this. I just got this information about the headline of April 4th today in the country. They said the Office of the Ombudsman has found several government officials US 1,000 each for their failure to appear at a hearing on the alleged violation of Part 5 of the Code of Conduct for Public Officials. Then the second aspect of the major news, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia, Justice Shannon Yo, is expected to release her legal assignment for May and June term for circuit court judges as she draws closer to her departure from the judiciary on the 26th of June 2025. And the last one said the government of Liberia has successfully renegotiated the purchase and shipment of the much anticipated 285 pieces of earth moving equipment. Then Public Works Minister Roland Guinness has disclosed the approval of 25% of World Bank Toastan. Oh, we're to ask the question to the Toastan Africa's road project value to be awarded to Liberian contractors. So this is the major unfolding development today, May 4th, 2025. Sorry, April 4th, 2025. So I will push this back to the panelists so that we can take some look into it, particularly the issue of the ombudsman finding several Liberian government officials $1,000 for violating the code of conduct and the rest of that. And Shannon Yo, we know she's going to be retiring soon from the Supreme Court as the Chief Justice, because she's nearing the age of 70, be coming up soon. So basically, and this talk about yellow machine, the F moving equipment.
That's where I want to go first.
Yeah, this F moving equipment, there's the series the government has said they have now finally renegotiated this process about renegotiated the purchase and shipment. Not only the purchase, but purchase and shipment of this 285 moving. Should we now believe the government is just real, or is the government trying to buy more time? I'll push it to you, Mr. Name.
Thank you. So I read that story too, and the same question you're asking. Is it the $1 million question? Is that your final answer or something? Is this the final prize for this thing?
Yeah.
But more to the point though, how embarrassing is it that the government made such fanfare over an arrangement without any verification? I mean, the president himself at his own retreat, right? I mean, this was presented to him. So now I saw the renegotiated price by the vice president. They're reporting 43 million, from 43 million to 22 million. That's a difference of, I think, about $21 million or so. Now, first of all, how is it that wasn't verified? And two, now what's the president going to do? He's going to finally roll, because clearly it is evident that some form of deception happened here that accompanied the president. The president was deceived, the government was deceived, and now here we are. I'm waiting to see what is, if the final price is finally settled, which seems to be far less than the initial price. What is going to happen? Is anybody going to pay? Or is this president just going to move on as he always does?
Well, to be very frank with you, this is another distraction. This is another tactic for us to not be talking about the airport and other things that are considered national security issues and very pertinent to the hearts of the international community and to us. When this deal started, it was $79 million. So we're going from $79 million to 22. That's a difference of almost $50 million. If you, myself, Russell, Martin Colley, if nobody has said anything, somebody will have benefited $50 million. So renegotiating by the vice president, that is not the prerogative of the vice president. It is not the vice president's job to be the procurement officer for the. That's not how it's done. Contracts are negotiated through the Congress. So it's another distraction. And to be very frank with you, Mr. Namwe, after listening to this senator, I have to be honest with you. He is one of the elephants in the room, and Liberia is in trouble. If this man, a senator, that sits on the committee that is in charge of transportation, telling you that he doesn't have all the information, he will go and fetch it and come back.
Let me play the devil advocate here, please. And I think it's fair enough, Mr. Gaiman. The senator is traveling, and this is bureaucracy. If you're traveling, you will not speak to and let me
talk, and you can
I'm going to get this speech to come back, right?
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
He said we should get to that. He don't have all the facts because he's traveling, right? He's going to work on the fight. So we cannot hold him to that.
No, I can't hold him because he been in the legislature for 8 years in both houses, and this been going on for years. So you can't tell me he has to go back now and search for answers. This is unacceptable. This man been in the legislature for 8 years, 6 years.
Did you follow the hearing from the Liberian Senate on the issue?
I did.
I mean, and the hearing from the Liberian Senate was very impressive for me. I think they try asking the hard question. And they give me
Pewee, I'm telling you, as a man,
yeah, but we cannot hold it. We cannot hold it.
No, you don't want to hold him. You don't want to hold him, but I will hold him responsible.
I think that would be unfair on your part.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
No. I have the caveat. He been in both houses for 8 years, and I tell you what, it's Mr. Cummings that says
you have 20 more seconds so we can move to the next question.
Okay, I know you can call it to 5 because you're homeboy. Okay, this is what we do. We said doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It's insanity. He's insane. 8 years in the house, and he's he should be one of the more authoritative persons because he has served in both houses.
Thank you, Raul. You come in.
You see that? Go ahead.
I kind of partially agree with Mr. Gaiman because again he should be familiar with the processes and given the fact that he's been in the House and the Senate for a combined almost 9 years, I think gives him an advantage, right, to be more abreast with some of these.
Raul, let me ask you the question: Will you take a? Let's say for instance you are traveling out, right, and saw you on a safari, traveling out on a vacation. Will you take a decision an office-related decision while you're traveling, or you want to come back and get an informed position before speaking to those things?
I think it's professional that he said what he said, and I agree. Listen, I think it's professional that he said what he said, right? My issue with what he's saying though is that when you attempt to give him some information, and then he pushed the candle down the water, like so he says, well, I don't know the information, and then you tells him, well, these guys are saying is as a result of birds, and the birds are attracted by the trash, even though we still don't know exactly what caused the first apple going dark. But listen, I think this is all it all boils down to incompetence, and it boils down to the lack of leadership, because I would have assumed that they understood some of these problems, because some of these issues were criticized by these very guys, Sylvester, under George Weah administration. So if I was leading the airport authority, I would have done a full assessment of what I'm walking into. For instance, they complained that the airport was flooded under George Weah administration. This is not just the lighting issue we're talking about. Recently, the airport was also flooded under their watch. So if there are issues that were occurring prior to your ascendancy, and these issues you frowned on, I would think the responsible thing to do going into that is let's do a full assessment of what these issues are and how can we prevent them from happening again. And so if the expert, I'm not an expert on energy and the lights, and I'm not an expert on that, but I'm also not a fool. You're not just going to give me an expert-based opinion that does not logically align. And so again, other airports are able to keep their lights on. Liberia is not the only country where there's a possibility of birds sitting on transformers. Other airports are affected too. The question is, what are those airports doing right to prevent these things from happening? This is what I want the experts to tell us. Yeah. Don't tell us what the issues are. What are you doing to prevent them from happening? That's responsible leadership. And so to your question, to your point you asked the senator, it's incompetence, it's ineptitude. And this is the second time it has happened. So what actions are you going to take about that? This is an embarrassment. When Brussels Airlines decides to stop flying to Liberia,
we're done.
Essentially done. I mean, you can depend on Ethiopia Airlines because they have all these multiple stops and people are traveling 20 to 25 hours to Liberia. So these are very, very important things that you don't want to happen, and you risk people's lives as well. But most importantly, Sylvester, I want to re-emphasize, these things were criticized by these very guys under CDC. So when you come in now, do an assessment, Winfred, do an assessment. These are things we criticize. The flood at the airport, the lighting issue at the airport, right? How can we prevent these things from happening before they even happen? This is what I want to get done. But listen, I thought the senator was very comfortable from the beginning of his thing. I thought he was comfortable, and I like the fact that we had a very fierce engagement. And you know what? I don't think we should give him topics in advance. The senator cannot go study on what he wants to come and tell us. We should have an open-based conversations, Sylvester. Let's be that free flow.
But Raul, then you agree with me, Raul, that most of our big cable network across the world, they will give their guests the topic before coming on.
Okay, let's give them topic, but we can't. Let I don't want us because you know what the senator doing now. You know what the senator doing now. Let me speak real Brand English. You know what he's doing now.
No,
the senator is opening a can of worms, Mr. Namwe. Now we getting topics. Those topics are posted on the website. All the other senators coming out, they want topics now. No, that is not study class yet.
For instance, we are inviting Senator Gayman to come on.
The man is from the government.
If you are not an expert, if you invited the police, Professor, if you invited the police, then we know we're talking specifically police work.
Okay, that's what listen, and my own way of doing things sometimes can sound wrong. Like for instance, if we say we're trying to invite incoming Senator of Grand Bassa County, our own dear brother Gayman, we say, okay, Gayman, we're trying to discuss the future of Grand Bassa County. We're trying to discuss that. But is that a start tracking?
But Sylvester, let me say this though. Let me say this. First of all, I disagree with you, and I disagree with the senator. We're in an age now where distance really means nothing, right? He sat on right here and told us how engaged he is with the land dispute back home. I always say he is engaged with that and not engaged with the airport. I mean, the one little place that is the gateway to the international world is crumbling. That is an emergency.
It's a concern. It's a concern for me, Mr. Nambe.
Not concerned. They're not concerned.
But you heard what I said to him, right?
Mr. Nambe, he could just call.
I come in
the committee.
Mr. Nambe.
And we're here. We're getting more information. He's a ranking member. He gets all the inside information.
Mr. Nambe, you saw the point. You saw the question I asked him. What I said to him. I said, "Will you support the immediate dismissal of those guys due to incompetence or ineptitude?" I don't support this process. I don't support it. But let's go to Mr. Russell, please. Mr. Russell, I think you heard those major headliners unfolding the country: the yellow machine issue, the ombudsman issue, and the Chief Justice process. And what do you have to say, Chief?
Well, the issue with the airport. Just go back to the issue. The issue of the airport is troubling. Now, I've been hearing a lot of information, reading a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not sure which one of them is factual. I mean, what's the latest the airport today? Is it? I mean, I'm hearing that we also have power issue there today.
Yeah, they said there was a kind of power issue there, but there's no issue of fire on the executive lodge. That just said no.
Yeah, it went dark. It went dark again.
It just went dark, but there was a power problem there again today. Very unfortunate, actually.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So I mean, yeah. I mean, with all the headlines and stuff that you read, I mean, for me, I would just pick up the airport piece because that's like the face of the nation. I mean, and that's the first thing people see when they come in. I mean, you cannot have that in such disarray. I mean, something as simple as providing, well, I mean, we take for granted, but something that can be easily taken care of, like by providing power, constant, regular power at the airport. And have you all seen the fees that are charged at Roberts Field on a ticket? I mean, it's that's why the tickets, going into Roberts Field, that's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, the airports, the airport taxes.
The airport fees, the taxes, they're so high. So what are they doing with those money, the money that is collected there? So if they're not using that money and putting it back into the system, they keep the system functional, and to ensure that we have constant power and all of the other things that have to be done there. I don't know, because you can buy an airline ticket, and I know because you have competition there, but we can still get it cheaper. If we were doing some good things there, but you can buy a ticket for almost like, $800 to $1,000 to go to Accra from the US, but I mean, you're talking almost $2,000-$3,000. People were paying like almost $3,500. I know it was high season, but still $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000 for a ticket to go to Liberia. I mean, that's ridiculous. So we're paying all of these high taxes and high fees. So my question is, what are we doing with those taxes and those fees? Why aren't we putting those taxes and fees back into improving the airport, in ensuring that things are running there smoothly and all of that? So that's part of my issue that I want to pick up on all of the headlines. I know folks have been talking today, and Robert was part of that conversation too. I have a slightly different take about the future of Spriggs Field Airport and how that could be set up. Actually, it is set up to be a reliever airport, but it is not properly maintained. You cannot use it as a reliever airport now. There's no reason for, in case of emergency, plane to have to fly all the way to Abidjan or to Freetown. There's no airport in Liberia that could serve as a reliever airport. And so that argument, Braka Jaliba brought, I wrote about it earlier. He brought another version of it today. I know, Robert, you were part of that conversation too as well. So this whole airport situation, and like with many other things, I mean, everything in the country is a priority. So right now, let's focus on the airport situation. What we see happening now at Roberts Field. That's why it's imperative that we have a functional, well-organized reliever airport. Because anything happens in at Roberts Field, as we've seen, over and over at RIA, we screwed. I mean, where else are we going to go?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a very profound and major point there. And we have the James Springs Free Airport there, right? And what the government can do is to pump some money, get all the people from that FIAMA, some part of area in that FIAMA area. They said it's owned by the airport. I don't know, but Mr. Nabi, you should know the rest of the story. Some of us may not know the detail, but most of the people there are all squatting. They are
squatters, yeah.
Yeah, they're squatters all there.
So the government can just pump some money, relocate those people, and then expand there and make that place of area. You're right, because and that's one of the reasons why at the time when the situation unfolded with the late police chief, Joseph, and they died. They died in that plane crash because they came RIA. There was no way they turned it off. And Springfield also, when they came, nothing is in darkness. So the two options are nowhere to land.
I was just about to. I've said it in our conversation about the new airport.
Yeah,
it is not the airport; it's the management.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone that is inclined about this issue. Was saying to me yesterday, he said, "Hey, your country may even be suspended."
Of course,
now, because the international aviation process is that the RIA is a major international airport. Now, any plane that can be in our airspace that may suffer from some issue. They will need emergency to land. It will have to be suspended for that. And no plane will be coming. So serious.
You're so right. So it's not just planes coming to Liberia.
Yes,
but
that's why it's having distress in our airspace.
Airspace. Those areas. They will need place to land. So COA, I think that's the name of the UN agency based out in Montreal, Canada. That manages all of that. That's why all of the 13 plus airfields, airstrips, they all are recognized by ACOA. They all, the one in Greenville, the one in Maryland, all of them. And they have
Kehleboe, on my area there.
Kehleboe of all people got airport name after them.
And they're all internationally recognized. They have their own.
That's it. But I was just saying the same thing. It doesn't matter how many airports we have. If it's pulling if we don't have the commotion between the airport and LEC, that was the genesis, right? The airport blamed LEC for lack of electricity. LEC said no, your generator ran out of fuel. That was it. That's what LEC said. Your generator ran out of fuel. And then they're going by they're going to the Senate and telling the Senate, well, we made a mistake. We accuse the LEC, but it's actually the birds. So I said, so you guys are ready to shoot birds? You're shooting birds, right? You're shooting birds at a basic.
But I thought that was I think that was a lie. I think they understood. I think they understood that.
Of course.
The LEC, because LEC can prove that it wasn't us. In fact, you just didn't have fuel in your generator. They can easily prove that. And so that argument would not have hold and would have further proved incompetence, lack of poor leadership had they moved forward with that excuse. So this was part of my issue when my dear brother.
And the funny thing is, Robert, they didn't even push back. Right? LEC said no, that's not.
No, because they knew it was a lie. Yeah, they knew it was a lie. So this is why I continue to say this whole bird thing makes no sense to me. I think it's a made-up lie. Again, if the experts, these guys are supposed to be experts, right? If there were concerns about the airport going dark under the Weah administration, something they politicized, and part of the reason why they came to power to rescue, then why have the leadership of the airport not done a full assessment and prioritize areas to be redressed?
Exactly.
Why have they not done that?
Robert, the worst thing was I listened to Kula Fofana today. They said the president has addressed the issue at the airport. He has set up a committee to go and investigate the real issue and report back to us. Can you even, how many committees they have set up committee at the immigration thing when Fadiga, they almost killed each other? They set up a committee at the general from the guy from LTA, his $15,000 a month, and they say, well, we set up a committee to delve into the inequality between the I guess the autonomous agencies and this and that. I mean, they set up all these committees, and Joseph Boyka came by again today, set up another committee to actually get to the bottom of why there's lack of electricity at the airport. I mean, it is just one of those things. Like I said, from listening to this young man today, if I were to say, well, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, I would be lying to you.
And this process about setting committees and all of things, and I can remember the first major cabinet meeting President Weah had at the Painesville City Hall when he took over.
he said he don't believe in too much feasibility studies. He said because all the things they get waste time.
That's right. Cut to the chase.
He said that feasibility studies, studying this, committee, on a serious note, and I agree. And our leaders in the country will always say they will have behind the issue of a committee, setting committee to do everything. And then sometimes we investigating a case of corruption of, let's say, $100,000. Says unless that this minister, the president will set a committee to investigate the minister that stole $100,000, that committee will use $150,000. I mean, no, we're in a problem, and it's serious here. But for the president, it's serious note to not take decision about this issue concerning the airport, the only international airport we have, as Mr. Russell said, the gateway to our country correctly. If the president was to act in a more weak way in terms of not taking using his executive power, because Article 56 says all of those that you appoint serve are your pleasure, and this is a perfect opportunity you have to use that article on those people that are very ineptitude. I mean, those kind of a base way of exposing your performance base to the country, and the president can nothing, because this is border on life. That Air Brussels flight that is leaving from Brussels to Freetown, then Freetown, Monrovia, that's a flight that they carry almost 300 human beings. Almost 300 human beings. That's the plane I normally fly all the time when I'm in and out of the so I've been flying Air Brussels close to 15, 16 years now, right? So if you cannot, and that plane just being, that plane just love Liberia.
I start flying Brussels, Sylvester, because of that terminal. What is it, terminal T or whatever they call that?
Yeah, terminal T. And take you all the way behind Jerusalem. Yeah. I just fly Delta now. I'll go to Ghana.
Yeah, that's not racist. I don't know what it is.
A local flight.
But you know what I can say? Terminal T.
No. They've changed it now.
They have?
Yeah. A lot of changes. They've changed it now. Before, you know, they used to call Terminal T. They used to call it Africa. But
that mess.
They did that because Terminal T is where they got all of the African flights. They fly going to Kinshasa, going to this, going to that. But it's much improved now.
Yeah, they've changed it now.
Much improved.
And they have
the original presiding has returned.
I'm about to send it over to the presiding. I don't want to tell.
Jesus, Robert, are you ready now? That
you will continue. Please continue, my big you.
Anything from here now is ultra virus.
We don't want Senator Dopoh to say our rules are not clear.
Yeah. Very clear. But listen quickly. I've just been given the motto. I've just been given the motto by the presiding, so I can continue.
That's correct.
Yeah, but I was just on a side step. The national coach coming today, Thomas Kojo, and I'd love for you to host that show when he coming, and so we can organize a show maybe. So he will get back to me, I think by tonight.
Okay.
To host the show. So I told him, I said, very good. I mean, you won't be following the thing, so we hold it. And then two. Martin Colley will be our guest on Monday. Martin said he asked him for Emmerich and Duke to be on the show. He wanted to be on the show. He asked that they please be on the show when he appears on Monday. So,
who you gonna replace them with? Who you gonna replace?
Tomorrow we'll get our spaces.
Y'all better select who coming, because plenty of who you're gonna replace them with. I mean,
I'm supposed to be there with you guys. I trust you can make it.
No.
We can basically come to that determinations around Monday afternoon or so. But on a serious note, we have to take some constraint in terms of our politics, and let me tend to push before we continue the issue about give me your thought process. I will not trying to defend the senator, right?
Oh no! Come on now, come on.
It's a position I will set the stage. When you are presiding, you have to take the moderating. Basically,
you gotta protect the guests.
They will advocate and protect.
You gotta make the
guests. What is paramount to our country is that that's the only means we all. Tomorrow, trust me, you're going to be on the plane going to Liberia. The intent is to land safely, right? And more or less, most of us always travel on Air Brussels, and Air Brussels always land in the night.
That's right.
Right, because if you leave from Europe, you have to come to Freetown, Sierra Leone. You down in Freetown for an hour, then you pick up from Freetown by 6:45. or 6:15, and then you fly in 45 minutes to Monrovia. You land there in the night, right? So always Brussels will have.
Isn't that the sweetest part of the flight, Sylvester? You sit down for all those hours, and you come from Freetown within 1.5 hours. You're already in Monrovia.
Yeah, in Monrovia, right?
I mean, it is.
Yeah, and all those things. So, by the beginning, the last time when it happened again, and a lot of folks are now saying what led to Air Morag veering from the wrong way and all those things. So we need to put, and we have to put into place all of those navigation that can protect the plane in coming into land and all those things. It's important because there's no mistake over there. We don't need mistake there. That's the problem about it. It's the air. So you need to protect it. And it was part of the major reason why Air France left is because of pop holes. Major pop hole when Air France landed, that thing happened.
And when those agencies leave, like Winfred was saying, the prices, because there's no competition,
it will go up.
The prices get jacked up. We all pay, and I mean, not to minimize what you're saying, the loss of life is more dire. I understand that. We don't want any mistakes, but they have to also understand too, if we price ourselves out of the competition, and then we have to pay.
Imagine. Last time I was there checking, I wanted to check and compare some, do something with that issue. There was this flight from New York to Lagos, Mohammed Murtada International Airport, for $750.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a flight taking you 12 hours.
Yeah.
But then if you're taking the flight from there to Monrovia to Brussels Air, it will take you around 2002.
Yeah.
This, that. Why are you doing that? Ethiopian Air is also.
I tell you this, Sylvester,
because you might be paying $7-something to go to Lagos, but to get a local flight from Lagos to Liberia,
it's very expensive.
More. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So it won't make. It doesn't make.
That's what I was going to say, Robert. Yeah.
Lagos to Monrovia will be costing around $700 to $800.
Exactly.
Because the last Air France that I took to Liberia. We landed in Bamako, and almost everybody got out of the flight. We were 17 from Bamako to Monrovia.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the pilot. He says, we are not coming here for the money. He said, we are losing money, but because it's a safe hub for us. Okay? They wouldn't sleep in a hotel in Bamako.
No, but another thing given, given, that was the flight. The flight was leaving. The flight leaving from Paris to Bamako, right?
Yes.
And then Bamako to Monrovia. But you had how to get the passenger. You have more French passenger from Bamako.
Sure.
So when you arrive in Bamako, when those Malian passengers get off, there's new batch of Malian passengers will get on board from Bamako. Then you hit Monrovia from Monrovia straight to Paris. That's a time through Monrovia. But the reason why they left that because when they had the issue with the Malian government, and the Malian government was stopping them. There was this major issue when they stopped going to Mali. They knew that the Monrovia passenger were far not around that line. But
listen, I know we got to close. Let me give my closing. But I think that we need to really get our house in order. I think I was having a conversation after the show yesterday, the other day when the ambassador came on. When we talk about tourism, I think we have potential there to make tourism the cornerstone of private sector job growth in our country. There's a huge potential there. If the Jamaicans have done it, and today they are generating billions of dollars in revenue, we can do it. There's lots of things we have to do. And in order to encourage tourists to come into the country, we got to invest in the airport, the port of entrance. We got to invest. We got to electrify our IA. We have to make sure we tackle the issue with regards to security, especially if we would take the path, which I think is the only path, to eco and cultural tourism. We got to. This is the conversation I wanted the ambassador to start having with the president. We got to start changing the system. Restaurants and hotels in our country. I asked the last time what went for it. Why have we not established a tip-based system across the country now? We can do that right now. Where hotels and restaurants are now paying servers $125 monthly. Get rid of that
and establish a tip-based system where there's a 15% automatic gratuity on every check. Servers will make over $500-$600.
You nailed it,
and then there's a tax. Government can get more revenue into taxes. Bartenders will make money. And then the businesses will also benefit, because instead of paying these guys $150 every month, which is under, you can pay them maybe $1 every hour, $2 every hour. They make bulk of that money into tip. If a server is walking out of there, or a hotel, 15% automatic gratuity, 18% automatic gratuity for a party of 6 or more. You help the economy move. We need to work with the Ministry of Education and start offering, at least start with the associate 50 months a culinary degree, hotel management degree, right in Liberia. We can start the process. This is the blueprint we're talking about. So if
give me 1 minute, please. Give me 1 minute. I think that there's this appetite for to take few calls. Most of our folks, they want to take some calls from Monrovia. So I will ask studio to take. I need them to take a couple of calls. So please, so invite the input of
so let's take the call. But gentlemen, we need to start having serious conversation with regards to our country and how we move forward, guys. This is no break. One person don't have all the ideas, but we need to put politics aside, reach out to the people who can help start this process, and let's move the process forward.
And Robert, what you just said, if we can push in the country and spread that, trust me, it's gonna go a long way. We
can start that right now, Sylvester. We can start the base system right now.
The person just said Lebanese restaurant owners do not give the tip to the servers; they take it for themselves.
Exactly. So it's a very important point, Raul.
We have to change the system. So
wait. This is Robert. This is why we're talking about. You remember the senator said,
Myean, you can call the number and start taking some calls. Okay.
Yeah. The senator said when all the money collected in taxes in the country goes into a central pool, right? And it doesn't even wonder where it's supposed to go anymore. So the taxes will be collected by the government, the waitresses, their money, and goes into their central pool. And they tell you the government couldn't make payroll, so they use the money. I mean,
no, you can't do that. You have to know. You can. There's a system. And it goes back again to what authority in a country that establishes of 2-star, 3-star, 4 stars, and 5-star. This is a systemic issue here. There is absolutely no way we put the system in place. And I'm Robert Garguah using my card. Okay, I'm using this card. This card is a program card directly for me. If I swap this card and interact with Russell, and Russell says, Robert, I need 2 beer, I need 5 beer, get me some appetizer, get me dessert, and I present that check to Wayfair, it's $150. At the end of that day, and I close that check, the government has nothing to do with it. The company has nothing to do with it. At the end of that week or at the end of that month, I print out what we call tip track report. That tip track report system tells me how much money I've made through tips because I've used my card. We can set that up right now. The government revenue has nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Yep. And it's going to be done easily.
Improve people. Yes. Go ahead, man.
So you can put your cost in 0777-649986 plus 231-777-649986 to be a part of the closing argument here. So let's take this first caller. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from? Hello, caller. Wow, we lost that caller. 0777-649986. So let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from? Yeah, Nima, where do you call from?
To Point.
Okay, make your point.
I like to appreciate the people on the show tonight. Sometimes, like someone said, it's not all politics. Sometimes we should look at the reality. We should look at new ideas that we can bring to the table to move our country forward. Take, for example, my brother. The whole country of Liberia get one medical school. Since 1970, that school established. One. When I came from high school, I had best grades in science. I said, me go do biology. I went to university. When I took the entry the first time, 108%, they say a fee. The second one, 98, they say a fee. Why? They say you should score 140 of work to pass. They type the skills in a way that we owe 700, they only want 30 or 20. This is happening because they want medical school. So we need to brighten our idea, our mind about moving the country forward. Move medical school in the whole country. 2008, there were 25,000 librarians to just one doctor. 2008, 2025 population has increased. Most of the 3 doctors are leaving the theater, they are leaving the operation room, they are taking up administrative positions. Therefore, they can't go and practice. Results, reducing the number of doctors. People get a first degree, they won't enter medical school, no way, because I want. You see that? So we need more. The last time I listened, the tourist bill was passed. If you go to Kema is a very decent designated area that people can come from all over to visit. What's happening to the tourist bill? I'm not trying to be political. I'm a science student. But I don't know what money was budgeted in the 2024-25 national budget for tourism. I don't know. But let's like someone said, let's start bringing in new ideas. Thank you for the show tonight.
Okay, thank you. So you can put your calls in 077764996, 077764996. So let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Nima, what do you call from?
Hello?
Yeah, Nima, what do you call from?
Well, I'm Emon Sadu. I call from Mambakwe.
Okay, please be audible.
Yeah, what I gotta say, my man. You're saying I am America, you're speaking all the time. Unless you take power to where I can change the country. We just can't down here. What I think I'm down there, so money people. You can't hear your unspoken investment, your capable job. Then I want to say that I could have been talking. What I'm saying, I'm waiting America, you're causing everything here. What have you done for it?
That's not noise. Okay, thank you. Thank you for making your point. 077764996. So let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from?
Hello, I'm Rivergee. I'm actually calling from West Point.
Okay, make your point.
Yes, thanks to all those guys do. There was something going on in our country that you need to talk about the Chinese. The Chinese are damaging our country here. Every corner you go in this country, those guys are mining. They're mining the black sand in bulk and shipping. People don't know what you guys do with this sand. You really need to talk about the black sand mining and gold and diamond mining. You guys are damaging this country. They will cause the place push on this little thing to part of Nigeria where people just get fed up and start eating at them. You need to talk about the thing on spoon network, please, or closing argument.
Yeah, closing argument. Okay, thank you. So let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from?
Yeah, I'm Robert Shaw. I'm calling from Machine Shogun resident.
Okay, please make your point. The lines is activated.
Yeah, my attention joined who want to bring his misfortune to the guys in America. What do you mean if people should come? The people come on the show every night to educate. You say someone can't give you a job. The government that you voted for, that you defended, you don't question them to give you a job. Sacrificing their time, you're able to pay the thing that people doing every night for all you're able to pay them because they're talking why you want to be here, kind of questioning them. You can't even be serious in the country. Thank you, my people. I apologize for him, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you ever so much. Should I take this next caller? Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm okay. Your name and where do you call from? Your name?
So who told you? So you don't understand anything. Nobody against anybody. The thing about it, like one of the panelists was saying, that not every day we talk politics. So let's talk what can make the country to grow. That fellow is not saying he's frustrated, saying that, you guys in America, no, he's not saying that. He's simply trying to say that, look, as much we'll talk politics in our lifetime, which is part of our life. But let's also talk about the developmental of our country. In a sense that not everything myself would say I'm not tired listening to Spoon. I'm tired, I'm gonna lie to you. I started listening to every political thing. At least someday, let's talk some progress. Let's talk some achievement of our country, where we are retrogressing and where we are progressing. But every time, every day we talk politics, then we talk some things like what you guys are doing. About the doctors. Doctors are getting limited and all those kind of things. That is good. But every day we criticize. Even Joshua was there, we criticize. Waka there, we criticize. When will we not stop the criticism? Talk about what the next thing. The people taking our resources, our spend. One day we'll get vexed and we'll move on the Chinese people all in the street, like what the people did in South Africa. I think that these are the things we really want you to be talking. That's my tip for the night.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for making a point. So 077-649986 plus 231-777-649986 to be a part of the closing argument here. So let's take this next caller. Hello, caller. Your name, where do you call from?
Yeah, my name is
Okay, make a point.
Yeah, my Mary.
Please put energy in you. Please make a voice audible.
Yeah, my attention.
Wow. Please stay away. Let's take another caller. Hello, caller. Nima, where do you call from? Hello? Hello, caller. Wow. Hello, caller. Wow, we lost that caller. So selected this caller 077-649986. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, name, where do you call from?
I'm Chake Tower calling from Broadview, the East Pacific Hotel.
Okay, make your point.
Yeah, that's the last call I heard the phone on the radio right just now. She was talking about development and how people should be making it in the country. I just want those that are listening to that, including, I hope the president is here listening. You see what that fellow from Burkina Faso is doing right now, that young president who's 6 years old? The million people have in that country, rather. You see what the man's developing? We got a lot of people taking the million from Kenya. I used to work at Kenya. They put the million on the one to go. That chopper tried to get out with that stuff, including they had to bring it down and subtract something on it. What are they really doing? They just a young man doing 35 years old man. I beg you people, man. Let's see what they can do about this country. The other time, sometimes I'm signing with someone that are taking the million or the poor, they weren't poisoning the water. The poor medicine, I'm call. That brother is very rich. I beg you, brother.
Okay, thank you. Selected this last caller. Hello, caller. Name, where do you call from?
Hello.
Yeah, make a point.
You know, the previous caller said something, well, you know, now I'm laying down, I get disturbed because no other station now to listen to. Web, I need to listen to old school music and well, all the station is also politics. Politics. I think we need to graduate from the politics and let's bring something to educate other people that are listening. But from Sunday to Sunday, politics. Monday to Sunday, politics. And where are we? Let people taking our resources and what they are saying every day. Truck park with sin, carrying it, leaking a lot of water, all coming in it. Now the way we use this time, they are undermining the land. What all the time people?
Okay, we lost that caller. So you can take it from your end there.
Thank you. Thank you, Myean. So guys, basically we hold from the callers. Again, it's important, and to me, that's why we need to respond to them. We need to, in terms of programming activities, we have to put into place. And I think we've been doing this before. The last time we brought this guy from Germany, he's an entertainer, he's in the entertainment business. We brought him to participate on the show. We will sometimes talk about health-related issues, talk about entertainment, or talk other human development story, human interest story, if you will. So I don't think, folks, to just respond to what most of you say, the intent is not at time to time to discuss politics, but the reason is that politics is just
basically part of our daily activities now moving forward. But we can sometimes try to intersplash the politics with other major development unfolding social aspect, and it's important we discuss other issues. And you're right, the issue about the Chinese encroaching on the land, and it's important that the government will have to come. The Ministry of Lands, Mass and Energy will have to pay some attention to this process, making sure all around, maybe around the Ralphie Highway and other area, we're looking forward to bringing investors to come in the country, but the investors should not come create more problem for the local dwellers, where there will be some problem as to how they get to move. Because undermining those areas, the country is not developed. The country is lacking major infrastructure intervention. So the natural land, we should not do anything that would degrade the natural land or give us some potential problem moving forward. So I think the closing argument going to push this debate to the Ministry of Lands, Mines, and also the government of Liberia and those that are making national policy in the country, so that we protect the country, not only by discussing the policy, but by protecting, because the country is for our unborn children. It's not for the general. Our unborn children should also inherit a land that probably the policy that we may not implement, they will come and take all those kind of policy that may just move to transform the country. It was the left of Mr. Nangbe and the rest of the progressive that set the stage today. Like, see, the quarters according to they even saying these things they're talking about now. Before, this never happened during the Tocman day, the Topoh day. It was not the proliferation of our thought process to democratize our thought process and having radio station all over the place. It's an important thing. But I think we would take note from the testimony, so we would develop other program initiative that will allow the listeners themselves to participate and bring other things up. Sometimes we just want to go and discuss some things happening in Peabody. Discuss with the folks, how are you guys feeling here today outside of the politics, the religious people, how we to engage in the traditional people also. It's very important. But we listen to the callers. Now we need this time to do our closing and call it a night.
Yeah, but quickly, let me just say, what you just said, Pewee, is very important. And I will ask Mr. Russell, he was in Liberia recently, and I saw some clips. And if he could put it together, we could do, because that's important, though. About the traffic and what the police go, I saw some police officer you access somebody driving the opposite direction, the accident, and they can't give no good answers. So I think if we can put that dual clips together, we're going to have to show where he can help us, because people can understand. We talk about traffic. Talk about traffic today. We call the traffic chief of traffic. They all be there. Talk about the violations that happen on every day. And what happens? Like, if somebody have an accident in Liberia, what's the process?
Yes.
How, if the person insurance, say you get insurance, but will your insurance company fix the person car? What the police will do when the police come on the scene? If the man car is not insured, but my car is insured, will you let the man go, or you will cut a truck to tow that car? It's very important. So Russell, I beg you. I saw a lot of Google clips of the police and thing giving people ticket, and that man called Anthony Williams. That's somebody who I thought you guys would have even asked the senator about his colleague from Maryland. What he did to the police. They gave him a ticket and they sent for the man. For what? Are you above the law? And these are things I hope we can really get on.
And I'm not cutting out Tony.
Tomalin, you're off camera.
I'm not cutting you off, but I think that what we have to do also, there's a major thing happening with Ken. I think we'll take a couple of minutes to add on that. I would love for us to also take some time and briefly discuss what is unfolding currently by the name of politics. Is really heating up, and I want to get the perspective of Mr. Russell. You come with this line of for the progressive. Also, we are the progressive. They are the old progressive. We are the new progressive. So, so we want to get the top.
But Pewee, the progressive of the past are getting credit for the guys today.
Oh yes,
the guys from the past, they were not belly driven. They were not greedy. The guys about so I mean us Amana, they get us more money. They cut it off.
Yeah.
What they do at LFA now? You thought the guys that been paid to do that in LFA, and that guy who won for LFA president, he didn't want to pay them to do that stuff. They asking LSC to get an audit of LFA. What LSC got to do LFA?
Exactly.
Man, they just been paid to do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Russell, go ahead.
No. I was going to say no, but Tomalin, I think Sylvester too. We have tried to spice the program up a little bit because I know we had a show on tourism before before it even became very fashionable. I think, but last year, there are a couple of tourism shows we've had. They had, and then the fire. We've had several of those fire chiefs, coming through. I mean, I know there was some political angle to it too, but I mean, a lot of it when we talked to Chief Butler and Chief Parliament, just talking about the state of the fire in the country, and especially when that accident took place in Total.
You also brought the issue about concerning our Liberians, the immigration issue also.
Yes. We did talk about immigration. Yeah, you're right. So we did try to spice it a little bit. Tomalin, you weren't yet. Was it yesterday or so? We did talk about that about the police and that case involving.
Oh, we talked about body camp too.
Yes. We talked about the body camp and all. So we did talk about that. And Robert is supposed to be the one who bring in his guy on the show. Yeah,
Cooper.
Yes.
Yeah, Cooper. I like that guy, man.
He's from Atlanta, so Robert guy from Atlanta.
But Chairman, I want you to look at the front page of the paper today. Okay, this is something that the folks have to appreciate what you guys or what we do. We are an advocacy group of folks who flag issues that the regular person cannot. The jetty thing that we talked about all week, all of a sudden now is on the front page of the paper. There he is. Okay, that's the front page of the paper today. That jetty dismissed allegation that he calls it false. It's a false accusation by the people. The people accusing him for being the Society Network of Liberia have dismissed allegation linking permanent businessmen, saying commonly known as Jetty, to the prolonged detention of individuals arrested in connection with the violent protests. There you go. If we didn't talk about these things to flag them, so it's not all about politics. It's about advocacy, and also you got to understand, it is the politician that sets these limits, the rules. They are the one. Politics, everything you do, like the young man said, establishing a second medical school will require legislation. It will require bill. And who does that? Our representatives. You want to fund the new medical school? Who does that? The legislative body. So yes, everything that we do, you're talking about they're stealing the black sand, undermining. What is that? That environmental protection. That's Mr. Russell went for that. Their area, specialty area. So they have to be there to talk to the politicians. So yes, everything has something to do with politics. Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, not to come across sounding defensive. I mean, we do more. We've done some. We continue to do more. We hear y'all. We hear the concerns that people have. We just have to try to be creative and bring in some other programming that addresses some core bread and butter issues and some core issues that people are concerned about. So yes, you're right. We've done that. We'll continue to do that. We'll do a little bit more, but politics, I mean, it's pretty difficult to divorce politics from a lot of things. I mean, it's all interconnected and interrelated, So, but we hear you all, callers. We hear your concern. Because we want to provide this contrast between what we do here and what other platforms are doing, so that people can have an alternative. You can't just come and hear the same old thing being regurgitated over and over the same place. So we try to do something a little different different year. So yes,
Yeah, on the programming note,
jump in.
On the programming note, Chairman Ben will be coming on soon with the midnight show. It seems to be Chairman Ben's putting more effort to even knock off the.
I know Winfred always Winfred something because the last time we were here for almost. I think
the last time Robert left.
Until like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, right?
I had to.
I had to leave you guys here and dig it down.
And you went back and was still here.
So the midnight show will be coming up soon at 9 p.m. by Chairman Ben, maybe 9:15, thereabout. Mr. Nangbe, Mr. Russell, and the rest of the folks, those that would be wanting to be part of that show, will be coming on soon. That
so we live
just for
that Robert era.
I'm leaving you guys now in that case. But before I leave, though, Sylvester, the senator, he said something about, and I think platform as big as this can help out, setting aside 25% of the budget, for exclusively Liberian businesses. I think that's something. I know the Liberianization is still faltering, but I think that's something we can also help to lift, because I think he's looking for support, to have that materialize. He wants to make it law, where 25% of the budget is always going to be set aside for Liberian businesses.
And that is very important, because that will help to also create work in the private sector. And it's that about encouraging. But the other thing, if those things are unfolding now, then the government will have to push business owners to really be into it. Give employees, pump some money into them, and give them the capacity to move on and explore in other areas. It's very important. And that's why they do in the West, particularly here. They enhance the process about
we have to find a way to empower our people, Sylvester, so that we take the business out of the hands of the Phoenicians and other people. Our people, the problem is almost always the seed money.
I've not heard that word in a long time.
I know, right?
I know. Now, how you know you're from old school now?
Wow.
No, soon. I gotta leave you guys, but thank you very much. Let me go and find something to eat and then get ready to come on for the late night,
Yeah. So that's great job today, man. Moderating. Good job.
Thank you guys, man. I know we did a great job too. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrel? The black barrel is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in your barefoot manner, we'll take your plate like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen there represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis, 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life, that's what you see. I live a different life. When I was not president, this life, that's what I live, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Both connecting those.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.